Yes. Are you hyped is the question, folks. Are you hyped? That's my question for you. Welcome, everybody. I realize that I didn't actually put this up yet, and this is kind of important, so wapow! Welcome to Pen and Pixels. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone is doing well. I hope you were looking forward to some awesome fun times today. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. Welcome to episode 139 of Pen and Pixels D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. I am really excited for this. Really love this campaign and these players, and I'm looking forward to it this next few hours as we are with you as they continue to search for the clues to the anger of the giants. Before we get there, though, I do want to remind everybody about ways to support this channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow GOG. Please make sure to follow our channel and all the lovely people on it. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you can. You can get some of these awesome emotes that you see, some DRM freeze, a whole bunch of other things that you can get. Plus, it also, of course, supports the streamers as well, so please do that. And please follow us individually on our channels as well. We have a lot of individual stuff going on, Patreons and subsystems and stuff like that. I myself play a lot of D&D on my own channel as well, and other related RPGs. So if you like this, there's more where that came from, which you can check out as well. But today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, the time has come for us to continue with Storm King's Thunder. And so with no further ado, I'm going to unmute myself as I usually do so that they know that we're about ready to go. And then I'm going to unmute them. And then last but certainly not least, I'm going to come over to there right now to the power of dun 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 dun. There they are, and I managed to even capture video when Mike arrived, so I have it all done. They are ready to go, and they are excited. I love seeing these smiling faces in front of me. It's very exciting. I really enjoy this campaign a lot, so I'm looking forward to this with these wonderful people. But before we get there, these wonderful people should introduce themselves to you. And so I will start with a person who, as of next month, is going to have a bunch of dragon-themed wallpaper behind her. And we said that this was appropriate because, as she pointed out to us, she's the head of GOG. And of course, she said all of that, and I'm not making all of this up right now. See? And immediately we get a subscription. That proves it. Thank you, Flying Up. We just say that she's in charge, and everyone's like, what? Hits the sub button.
If we hit 20 subs tonight, she will cosplay as a dragon.
Ooh, that's totally true. If we get 20 subs, she will cosplay as a dragon. Yes, yes, this has to happen. This has to happen, chat. Come on, chat. You can do it. Come on. You can sub and get her to be a dragon.
This is not the place of fake news. That is 100% true.
No, that's not fake news. That's straight up. Her name is Dragon Jade. I love it. No, in all reality, her name, of course, is Pyron Jade, and she is in a new place, and it's always a pleasure to see her. Hi, Pyron. How are you doing? How's life before the cosplay happens? How is life so far?
I was going to say my life just got a little bit more complicated. Yeah. Well, hello, I'm Pyron Jade, and I moved to a new place, so nothing is ready here, and you can most likely hear an echo and everything, and it will take a while to fix that, and I was not going to fix that with dragons on the wall or a dragon cosplay, so you don't subscribe for that.
Tasty Chai, dragon cosplay, you say? Thank you, Tasty Chai. That leaves just 18. Just 18. 18 left. 18 left. Oh my god, this countdown number. I gotta put like a countdown number up there. Like 18 subs before.
Baby dragons in.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Pyron's sub count. Okay, and then we do that, and then we put the text up there, and we select a font. I don't care what. We're gonna do it in Algerian just to make it stand out. Okay, subs to dragon cosplay.
I don't have a dragon cosplay.
Equals.
It's not a GoFundMe.
You live in a nation that is single-handedly keeping the European Union afloat. You can find someplace. All right. Let's see. Subs to dragon cosplay. Rapunzel's now following. That's it. Now I appreciate the follow, but it actually does need to be a sub. Subs to dragon cosplay equals 18. There we go. This is super cool. That said, I feel like Pyron's experience of this for me is always when I leave. You just see, if you were to do freeze frames, you just see a bunch of her shocked face, like as Greta like staring at what the three of the rest of you do. Yes. 17 subs to go. That's what I'm talking about. Screaming Joypad with the sub. 17 subs left. 17. 17 subs. My sub is not being announced.
I just heard Ebenezer typing furiously, and I was
just like tweeting it out. Oh, Geronimo, did you really sub? Did you, Geronimo? I do see your thing there. Okay, I will put it in there, but just remind me not to count this twice. 16. We haven't even gotten to Darksaber introducing himself, and we're already to 16.
We've already derailed the campaign, and I'm
I'm here for it. Pyron, how are you doing? So you already talked about how you're doing. Who are you playing today?
A dragon.
Yes.
So, before all of this happened, hello everyone. I'm playing as Greta Goldenfire, Dwarven Cleric of Foltos. May his light shine on his way, and 6th level since today. So, we can now light more things up, and she can now, which I think is totally appropriate, walk on water.
Yeah, she said that. She told us that. She's like, I got walk on water. There was just silence, and then we're like, okay, so this is a metaphor.
I think it's an amazing spell. It was like the time when I took create water, and everybody was like, that is boring, and it has been so damn useful. Like everybody who plays Divinity Original Sin 2 knows.
Right.
Create water is a great spell.
That is very true. So you decided to create water, and now you've built it up by now being able to walk on the water that you created. So there is a metaphor going on here. I just want to be clear.
Yeah, I also figured out that I've got a skill that I've never used, and I'm gonna abuse it from now on. But you will find out about that later. And yeah, so I moved to a new place, and I've got now kitties. And I hope this distracts people from the whole dragon thing. I've got kitties now, like little kittens, and they're awesome.
That's really awesome.
Next up, Saber.
Okay, sounds good. Darksaber is up next, and hopefully the kittens will also sub as we continue to move towards the inevitable moment when Pyron is dragon cosplaying. 16 subs to go, chat. Moving right along, it's Darksaber 2K who is responsible for this derail completely, and must take all thing from it. This is what happens. The guy is here. He's employed. He's gainfully employed. He's happy. He's like all good. And he is
literally never been better for me right now.
Yeah, no, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really excited, dude. How are you? So how are you doing? Like, tell us more about how wonderful your life is. Like let us know.
For those of you who've been following, those who don't, last week I started a new job after my company, well, not my company, the company I work for, completely collapsed, and we were all made unemployed. But now I have a new job, and it's actually IT help desk and admin, which is something I've been trying to get into for years. And so I'm finally in there. They actually let me use the phones today, and nothing blew up. So it's just, it's a big opportunity for me. It's something I've wanted to do for years, and so far it feels right. You know when you start a job and it clicks. So
this is that. Awesome, man. That's super good.
I also
really
have
excited.
the world's best mug.
Wow, see? So, yeah, the jaws, see, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, there's the sub. Okay, don't count this unless you need to. Okay, there it is, Geronimo. So, 16 remain. 16 remain. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for the resub. All right. Dig it. For those of you just coming in are like, what is this sub about? Well, if we get 16 more subs, Pyron will completely voluntarily, of her own accord, cosplay as a dragon. So that's definitely what you want. So we're only 16 away. But that's really awesome, Saber. Who are you playing today, and what new cool stuff has happened since you leveled him to 6, the dizzying level of 6?
I am Selsig Mauer, accountant and bodyguard to the upper gentry, and a part-time ranger. No way a thief at all. No, not at all. And did you and what have you gotten since the level up?
Since leveling up, I have found I have become far more perceptive, noticing things as previously hidden to me and all the other dullards around me.
Whoa, Jesus!
Whoa.
What just happened?
Whoa.
Geronimo just gifted 16 tier 1 subs. Oh my god! Geronimo, what the flip? Are you joking? What in the name of God? What? Apple, Bad Apple, Zianicon, Big Rich, Garrett, Light, Quo, there to Linkwedge, Yukachi, Christensen, Liverlitz, Four Fox, Badger, Admiral, Uncle Eyes, Patrick, Laughing Gravy. Holy cow!
Oh my.
Achieved! It's been achieved! Although Geronimo kind of cheated, but that's okay. Jesus, I can't even get through anything. It's just numbers are going up. Hey, boss, do I get an award for having most subs today in one channel?
You are all fired.
Joypac's all right.
Oh my god, this is the best thing. A true hero is emerged. Wow.
How do
Wow.
we even cosplay a dragon?
I don't know. This is your own fault when you agreed to it.
I don't know.
You should have a plan for this, really.
By the end of the stream, we just heard like Darksaber, formerly of the GOG team. Just like, oh my god, yeah, I get a raise and I'm fired. She's like, great job, get out. Like, never come back again. Oh my god, that is the best. Yeah, that's totally the best.
What have
Awesome.
I done?
Oh my god, that is great, Geronimo. Seriously, that is incredibly generous. What is 16 times 5? That's like. It's $150, right? Am I reading? No, that's right. Yeah, it's $150. You just dropped $150 to do that.
Holy canary.
Dude, holy crap.
Oh
That
my
is
God.
insane. I have never seen that happen in a channel that I've been like directly like involved with at a certain moment. Wow.
Oh, yeah,
That is
that's
amazing.
Like only 78.
Oh, so only $78. Well,
Only 78.
Jesus, thanks, dude. That is amazing. Still though, still.
Geronimo.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
And another subscription.
And I will. We'll see what I can do.
Pirate is a dragon. Woo! All right, there it is. There we go.
We can all do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get. I mean, I have a cloak. I just need to figure out about the rest of the cloak. This
I've
is
got my ever faithful tentacle hat.
All you need is you need lipstick and you need horns. And
that's
that's
fair.
the whole
Actually, you know what we could do, because October 30th, Tuesday, that's the day before Halloween. That is a Tuesday. So if we set our October session as that, I can't even finish because the alarm keeps going off. This is amazing. But Tuesday the 30th, we could have it basically be the Halloween dragon cosplay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. You know?
I will participate.
I'll do that. I'll participate.
I will participate.
Okay, let's do a.
That way you're not
Halloween-
alone, Pyron. There you go.
We're doing a Halloween cosplay session the Tuesday before
We
Halloween.
get to break out Gandalf.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's true. We don't all have to. We could just, as long as we're all D&D themed, and Pyron does have to be a dragon, but everyone else could be like some cloak thing. Actually, Mike, if you happen
he's
to,
sitting there and he's giggling the whole time.
well, he should be, because this is great. Giggling with joy. If we get Mike to be actually be Urash, oh my god, dude, I could totally see that.
fair. He wouldn't have to change anything.
Wow, holy cow, savage. Oh my gosh, man, we were in the middle. I think
now. Hurt my feelings.
we were talking about levels, Saber, and then all of a sudden we got hit with the gift smack in the face. So I'm sorry about that. You were more perceptive, you were saying, and what else?
And, my sleight of hand skills have increased, so pickpocket the everything.
Okay, pickpocket for everything. Can someone tweet out that just happened? That is the coolest thing that just happened.
Yeah.
That'd be really great.
Yep,
Oh
already
my
on it.
god. Anyway,
And I'll
so
roll my HP in due course when we're getting started.
okay, sounds good. Yeah, actually that's true. Well, you know what? Oh, hold off on it, because I'll come back to you and let you roll it along with Greta's character, with Greta and all that. So, moving right along, we're moving right down to Screaming Joypad, who. Well, Mike, I mean, I was about to just do my normal, hey, how's things going? And then, we got hit with this apocalypse. So
Yes,
that was cool.
How do you follow that?
I mean, just with joy and excitement. How are you doing, Mike? How's life and everything with you, sir?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's really, really good. I have no real updates, unfortunately. August has been a busy, busy month, and it will continue to be a busy month. More news in September if stuff gets finished in August. So watch this space. I'm looking forward to playing D&D because I've missed it. I had a strange incident earlier where I had to rescue with my wife and I had to try and rescue a bird from the garden. Hence why I'm now currently eating food as well, because I didn't have time for food.
I hope it's not a bird.
No, it's not.
Rescue.
Definitely. Rescue. We're not. Brexit isn't that hard at the moment.
Oh, man.
We're not happy. It's not turned into the Hunger Games just yet.
I was just going to say Tina Turner, like, we don't need another hero. Oh,
Give it at least 5 or 10 years, and then, we're looking at somewhere like Mad Max. But no, looking forward to playing tonight. I'm playing Urash, the half-orc barbarian, devout follower of Tempus, and also owner of a specific axe that is currently cursed, and he doesn't really know what it does other than makes him hit things and makes him feel good when he does it.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to go over what I've done when I've reached the heady heights of level 6?
Yes, please do that.
Well, let me just get my character sheet up. So basically, there's not an awful lot that I can do as a barbarian, really. So what I've gone for is my totem attunement. So as a barbarian, I'm a totem warrior, which means I have special abilities made by my totem animal. My totem animal, because I grew up in the far north, is a mammoth. Basically, if you're reading the rules, read the rules as a bear, and I'm just swapping out for a mammoth because I could, and I've agreed to it. And I'm hoping that my talking can delay it until I've actually got my character sheet open, so I can actually remember what I did earlier today.
You like stretch.
Yeah, filler. So previously I had mammoth skin, which made me basically resistant to all damage, because barbarians. And now I have mammoth might, which increases. I'm basically much stronger than I was the last time we played. So now the mechanics of it are my carrying capacity is doubled, and I have advantage on strength checks for push, pull, lift, and break. So basically everything I do on a day-to-day basis. That's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to leveling up again. I know it's probably not going to be for a while. But one fun thing I did find out is that I've actually been rolling my attack damage wrong. When I looked at my character sheet, I was missing 2 vital points on my attack damage this entire time.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I've rectified that. So now hopefully I'll be able to kill things quicker.
You know, it's funny.
Like this party. There's 2 of you who've been doing it wrong this whole time.
I know, right?
Well, it's funny because I keep seeing that is tremendous. I just saw this link that Chai posted. That's really great.
Wait, where was the link?
It's in Zoom. It's in Zoom. That is the best. That is the best. I should put up another sub goal to get her to
I quite like some of the other linked ones.
Can I like, am I allowed to put that in Twitch chat, Chai? Can I do that?
Oh yeah, of course. Like as long as Pirate thinks it's okay.
Well, I mean, it's not, it's not like she's actually wearing it. I just want to know, chat, do you think, would you be, how do you feel about that? What's your take, chat? Would you like to see?
It's an award-winning Jawsome hat.
I like that it's award-winning. Where are the awards given out for these things?
How do you win an award for it?
I have no idea.
Oh, you're doing the website and not the desktop app? Okay.
I
don't even have an Amazon account.
Oh, I'm sure.
He says like, hell yes, love it. Oh my god. Anyway.
Then it'll be easy. You just put on the hat.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like Insta-Dragon, no dragon, no dragon. Yeah, exactly. Hat Awards 2018. What did you miss, Kilobyte? Oh my god, dude, what did you not miss? I feel like it's that line where Inigo in Princess Bride is just like, it's too much. Let me sum up. Pumpabig has a... He starts running through these things.
Yeah.
So Pyron is going to be doing dragon cosplay because we got 20 subs today, 3 of which were resubs, or 4 of them, and then 1 of which was a Geronimo dropping the massive gift sub bomb on all of chat, and so that's the deal. What was Greta's channel? Greta's, well, that's Pyron Jade's channel. Pyron Jade can actually link it, I think, in here, although she's mostly over on GOG, I believe. But yes, yeah, Tiamat is born. That's true. This was the actual rise of Tiamat all along, Mike. It was just waiting for this moment. Oh man.
I see.
But yeah, so anyway, so that's good stuff. So you will be getting even more cool stuff when you get to the next level, basically, Mike, is the point, right? Like even more cool things, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, because I get to take a feat at that point, and I don't know if I'm going to be just really cheesy, or I'm going to be straight up barbarian and just take something like more toughness or hit things harder with pointy sticks.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that actually gets played out. But definitely once you get up to this point, you're getting to level 6 and so on. You're really like, you guys are getting into the meat of the characters, as I said before. So, but that's awesome. Welcome, Mike. It is a pleasure to have you back as always. I'm looking forward to stuff today. And
8-Bit came in. 8-Bit, you're too late. You would have saved me. I know, but you weren't here.
Hey, 8-Bit, boy, is there a lot of good stuff going on, my friend. Boy, oh boy. I'll tell you what. There is excitement and there's a lot of costuming going on. I should have done a separate sub goal for 8-bit also to cosplay, because I would pay serious good money to see Memories as a dragon. That would be the best. It was great. I can't even know. It wouldn't be so great. Anyway, always a pleasure. So good stuff. Moving right along, of course, last but certainly not least in our hearts, and that, of course, is Tasty Chai, who helped continue this momentum along with Mike and others towards the power of. I was already subbed, so I mean I couldn't re-sub, but yes, continuing the momentum towards cosplay goodness. How are you, Chai? How is life in the universe, and who are you playing today?
I'm doing well. Nothing new really to report other than school starting tomorrow, which will be fun. But otherwise, yeah, pretty average. I'm playing River, who is a silver dragonborn. So of course, right now I'm frantically browsing Amazon trying to find dragon pieces, so that way I can cosplay as my character, which could be kind of fun. As for leveling, what did I get? Because I just did it. Oh, I got the sorcery thingy that is bend luck. So
yes,
I can screw with other people's rolls, which is fun.
Yep. Yep.
And I also acquired one more spell that I chose, Sleet Storm, because I am a silver dragonborn. So of course I would like to play with ice.
Yes, I like that fact, by the way, that we're able to do. There's sort of a thematic consistency to all of it. And yeah, Ben Luck was used by a sorcerer in the campaign that Mike played with me, Rise of Tiamat, to very good effect. So Ben Luck was very useful. The cool thing about the sorcerer is that the sorcerer gets more, is really literally able to shape and meld and adjust the magic using ability, which I think is one of the neat things about that class. So anyway, there's going to be more stuff that will happen with that. So that is awesome. It is a pleasure to have Chai with us playing, of course, River, the Dragonborn Sorcerer. So what I would like now is I'm going to ask all of the 4 of them to roll their hit points, and then I will do our summary, and then we will get started. We would have done this earlier, but we were too busy watching as the sub numbers skyrocketed so that we could get someone to cosplay. So let me start with, I'll move right down the line. Actually, yeah, I'll move right down the line. I'll start with Pyron Jade. I'll start with Pyron Jade. And I'll have her roll her hit points for Greta.
Okay, one moment. Wait there. D8. 8.
Hey, look at that. That is plus your con modifier, don't forget. So
yeah, I would have forgotten. I might have forgotten that before. Oops.
Oh, really? Well, you're possibly. I'm trying to okay, well, let's figure out your total hit points and then I'll decide if I need to adjust that.
Plus 3, so it's 11, so I'm up to 44.
44 out of 44 for level 6. Yeah, it might be a little light. Did you forget it every time, though?
No, I think I did it the first time I did it right. I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay.
But then I forgot.
All right, so we'll have you do 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will have you do add an additional 12, 3 hit points times 4. So you are at 56 now.
Okay.
That seems about right to me. Okay, Celsig, level 6. Let's see what your hit points are going to be, sir.
Yeah, it's just a flat D8 because I have no con modifier. 6.
Hey, there you go. Pretty good.
Awesome.
Right.
That takes me up to 39 from 33.
39 out of 39. I dig it. Good stuff. All right, level 6 for Celsig. All right. Urash, she's like, I'm just going to roll 5 d20s and,
Sorry, I'm just adding up all of the dice the barbarian gets you.
I'll be another couple of minutes. If you guys have an algorithm for this.
Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, I got a macro for it. It's fine. Don't worry.
I do mean macro in all caps. And
hey. What?
In before you roll a 1 repeatedly.
Yeah, God. 8.
Nope.
So plus my con modifier, which I think was it like 2? Yeah, 2, so 10. So
10.
I'm at 67 out of 67.
67 out of 67. Man, 67. That is a lot of hit points. All right. Good. Level 6. And last but certainly not least, of course, the Dragonborn Wild Mage River. Let's see what you have, River.
It's 1d8, right?
For a wild mage, it might be 1d6. Let me check.
Okay.
It might be 1d6.
For those of you who don't know, I've never played D&D before.
I think for
It's
sorcerer.
okay. It's fine. I just had to do exactly the same thing. I've got the handbook in front of me. I was just like, oh god, what hit dice is it? Oh god.
Yeah, it's
I was
d6.
like,
It
thank
is
god I'm
d6.
third.
Yep, it's d6. I remembered. Yeah,
I got
sorcerer's
5.
d6. All right, 5 plus your con modifier, which is the 1. Is that the okay?
Yes.
So 5. Okay, so you are at and I have you. You actually lost a hit point, so I have you at 31 out of 32 hit points.
Was
Okay.
that my fault because of the damage?
I think I missed the landing somewhere, and so I took damage.
Yes, that is basically what happened. These were great rolls. Sorcerer is a flat 1 for each level. No, it's not. Okay. So there we go. So we've got 56 out of 56, 39 out of 39, 67 out of 67, 31 out of 32. And that breaks down about what I would have expected, which is the barbarian, then the cleric, then the rogue, and then the wild mage, but not being too far behind because of the dragonborn stuff. So good
What about
stuff.
the ranger?
Well, the ranger adds an additional 1d nonsense, so I think that's already been built in.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Thank
I
you.
rolled an @ symbol.
I rolled a question mark.
I rolled a null set. All right. So let's get the music fired up and let's talk about what these fine people did last time. For those of you who have missed previous things, I'm going to need to start talking to Mike once his schedule slows down about doing up one of those awesome story so far videos that he's so good at. But mostly just because I want to hear the Sephiroth. I said no, just because I want to hear that. So the party has been quite active. As you know, this group of intrepid adventurers has been trying to stop the rise of the giants. More specifically, they're trying to figure out why the giants are acting so oddly, acting much more aggressively, attacking civilized areas, challenging people within the Sword Coast, something which the giants typically do not do. And over time, the party has, through various machinations and adventures, which I can't summarize all of, or we will not actually play anything today, has been able to track down possible information about what may be doing this, relating to an artifact called the Ring of Winter, which was possessed by Artus Cimber. They tracked down Artus Cimber to the great city of splendors known as Waterdeep, and after a very eventful time, I think they would agree, in Waterdeep, which culminated in this grand ball, they managed to foil an assassination attempt, and thanks to their quick thinking, yes, literally, I was just Celsic, everyone else just watched him do it. After they successfully managed to, after they managed to do this party's Team Rocket of D&D, that's exactly right. Welcome to GOG, the DRM Free Community Flint Bucket. Once they managed to do that, they managed to meet with Lord Roaringhorn himself, who revealed, first of all, that he is also a harper, as are the party harpers in training, and moreover, that he had gotten information from Artus Cimber. Artus Cimber had been there but a couple of months previous, about 2.5 months previously, and since then had dropped off the face of the earth. He didn't know where he was, and he didn't know anything about him. The only thing he did know was that this Ring of Winter is particularly fascinating and dangerous for the giants. They are drawn to it in some ways, like moths to the flame, and when giants are drawn to anything, bad things usually follow because they're giants. And Artus Cimber had this Ring of Winter and left Waterdeep, and left without giving any information about where he would be. Artus Cimber, it turns out, was himself a harper, and has since dropped off the face of the earth. No one knows where he is. He did leave behind one clue, however, and it was a note on which was written the word Harshnag. After some careful thinking about what this person or people or group might be, Celsig actually memorably tried to write the word backwards and didn't do any good. What they ultimately discovered was that Harshnag refers to a famous member of an also famous adventuring group known as Force Grey. This is basically a group which is a force for good in the realms, but they're kind of loud about it. Like, whenever they show up, basically, they're sort of the bad boys of good groups. They show up, and they usually get the job done, but then there's a lot of collateral damage that's left in their their wake. And so they've made a lot of enemies, and they tend to do everything very sort of loudly. That said, most of the time, they tend to be doing things on the good side of the law, and this character, Harshnag, was a member of this group. However, at this point, stories diverge wildly. It's not clear whether Harshnag is one person or multiple people. It's not clear whether Harshnag is he or she or of indeterminate gender. It is not clear whether Harshnag is one person or multiple level groups, and whether it's a tiefling or a halfling or a mouse or a human. Like, they don't have any idea because the stories diverge so wildly. But this is a kind of legendary figure within a legendary group. And so as Greta recollected all of this, she had a great line, which as I was watching in preparation for this earlier today, I loved, which was, let's go look for a legend. And just as, in fact, I should have titled this episode that, let's go look for a legend. And just as the group was about to do that, to head out on Lord Roaringhorn's advice, Lord Roaringhorn first gave them some magical items. To Greta, he gave a saddle of the Cavalier so that she will never be thrown from her pony unless she wishes to be. Selsig Mar, I believe, took control of a water-breathing potion, a potion that would allow you to breathe underwater. Urash took control of a potion of giant strength of some level. I don't remember what the level was, but there was some super strong potion, I believe, that was actually given, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
I think so. And then there was one other magical item, which I'm now completely blanking on, that the River got. River, what magical item did you get? Because I completely forgot just now. Oh, Dust of Disappearance, that's right. Dust of Disappearance, which allows her and the rest of the party to become invisible when they so choose. So these are very nice magical items, and the party was like, this is great, we're about to go, and they're about to head out, and then just when that happened, there's a banging on the door. He opens the door, everyone has weapons ready, and in leaps a dwarven monk with a shock of red hair and a red beard, who looks at everybody. It is your friend Cantabus Redbeard, who says, the roaring horde you were looking for is not here, just so you know. And then he says, how are we doing? And that was where we ended our session last time. And so I will now hand things back over to the party to allow them to decide where they would like to go next. Although the general thing they said they wanted to do is to leave Waterdeep and to go look for this group person, Harshnag. That said, party, it's now up to you. You are standing in the room. Cantabus kind of looking around at everybody, everyone blinking. What would you like to do?
Well, can we at least get him in the room, or...
Oh, yeah, he's in the room. He leaped in the room.
Oh, he's in. I thought he was, like, peering through the door.
No. He leaped through the door.
No, okay.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever actually been face to face with this guy. Oh, yes, I was, because he gave me the gambling coin. That's right.
Yep.
Oh,
That's right.
God,
Good to see you, my friend. How have you been?
He says, I've been doing very well, pursuing the fire and passion that is in all of our hearts. Specifically, over the last few minutes, this person that you sent me to find. Now, remember, you did not actually send him to find anything. He just happened to be around when he heard about this discussion happening. But he's like, and then he sort of looks up and he says, who are you? He says to Lord Roaringhorn. And Lord Roaringhorn says, I am Lord Roaringhorn. And he says, I was sent to find you. As usual, my senses are unerring. And he kind of looks back and forth. And he kind of, the Lord Roaringhorn looks where the two obvious guards are standing at the front door of the room that is very clearly where Lord Roaringhorn lives. And then he leans back and is like, yes, you've done so with unerring skill, my friend. And he looks at all of you, and specifically at you, Greta, as if to say, this one of yours? Type of thing.
He's an accidental roommate.
Your roommate.
An accidental room.
The emphasis on room, not on mate. It's I can't even really explain. He we needed a room and he was already there, and
Cantabus says, it was fate. It was fate that brought us together, Lord Roaringhorn, and he bows very low, practically banging his head on the floor. It was fate that brought us together, and it was fate that allowed me to use my skills to save this party from certain destruction. Had I not found you, they might even now be lying dead as the consequence of the assassination that I surely thwarted. And Roaringhorn kind of looks at all of you and then says, yes, perhaps that is why you should be rewarded. Perhaps in the front of the building where you will find those things. And as he says this, you can see he's kind of, the guards who are right behind are sort of, he's like blinking at them, and they're sort of walking forward to Kentabis. And Kentabis says, "There is no need for your thanks, sir. Simply knowing that you were here is enough for me." And he turns to you, Greta, and he says, "Now, I hope that this has been a way for me to demonstrate the way that we have some connection to each other, that fire and passion in our hearts." And he pauses for a minute, and then you're like, you realize he's not really talking about romance. He must be talking about something else. And he's like, "Excellent." And he turns to all of you and he says, "If you ever have need of my services again, please call upon me. I shall return when I am least expected." And then he, staring at you, like, slides back out of the room, like, just, you know, as the guards are watching him. And the door quietly closes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, he's very friendly.
Bye.
He's very friendly. He's very friendly. He's not as creepy as Diego Maradona. I give him that.
Don't say his name.
It's like Candyman, that horror movie, right? You see it 3 times. And
It's okay. We've only said it once. It's fine.
Oh man. Okay, so but Roaring Horn is unless you have other questions for him, you know, you had a discussion with him last time, so you're certainly willing to hear if you wish.
Lord Roaringhorn, I have a question for you.
Certainly.
Do you know of a Minerva Coldwater?
And he thinks
She
for a
runs
minute.
a ship between here and Luskin.
It's called the Dancing Wave.
He says, "I have heard of such a thing, yes. But I have not had occasion to have that ship come near our waters. There is some evil sense about it. At least that is what I have heard. Evil stories."
I don't suppose you know where we can find the Moon Maiden docked, do you?
And he thinks for a minute and he says, "I don't, but perhaps I could find someone who could." And he, you know, gestures to one of the guards, and they come over and he whispers in their ear. And then they nod and leave, and he looks back at you and says, "Why, may I ask, are you interested?"
We were tasked to look into the disappearance of it, and it seemed to me from the description of Force Grey, a ship mysteriously disappearing that is known for its reputation of making the journey might fit the collateral damage of such a group passing through.
And he says, "I see." He says, "Well, it's entirely possible that such a thing could have happened, but in truth, the chances of Force Grey having done something like that with, let us say, subtlety is not likely. There are situations, of course, where Force Grey, from their reputation, has done things they did not intend, but it would be unlikely that they would have perhaps caused a ship to go missing, at least not unless I'm missing my guess about what they've always been supposedly planned to be. Who was it that sent you on this mission in the first place?"
Mike, you got the notes.
It's okay, I've got the quest on people, it's fine.
Duvessa
Shane.
And he says, "I see, yes." He says, "Well, I don't unfortunately have any direct knowledge of it, but perhaps when my guard returns, we should be able to gather some information for you, and perhaps that will be of some help." So as you're waiting, do you have anything else for him or not?
I had.
Sorry, Sable, what was that?
I was just saying that's the only real lead I had that I could think to follow up on.
Okay.
I was going to try and ask if saving his life would have been worth money. To be honest with
Is
him,
that my life?
because we saved his life, and going on this kind of adventure is an expensive ordeal.
Uraj, please.
I'm aware he's already given us gifts, but in order to make our way to find Force Grey, it's going to cost us money.
You save lives because it's the right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do.
Ask
It
him
is-
if he has any food.
Money can be used to buy lots of food.
Oh.
Yes.
He sort of I mean, well, actually I should say, have you actually asked him that yet?
I will ask him that. I will basically say, no, I probably won't use the words I just used. I will probably say, is there any, being a lord and wishing to aid us on this endeavour, this quest of utmost importance, finding this legendary group isn't going to be an easy task. So we're going to need to, stay in taverns and inns and, grease palms for information, that sort of thing. Is there anything you can do to maybe help that along?
Make a persuasion check for me, please. Let's have you do it at +1.
Saber to do this.
For what it's worth, I would have done much better at that.
All right.
Rita would stand there and look mortified.
Holding her saddle.
A saddle without a pony. Is there ever more a depressing thing?
Persuasion 11, so probably not.
He says, well, I can certainly provide you, my friend, with some supplies that you might need for your journey, and I'm also, of course, willing to put the word out that if you wish to try to get things at certain discounts, I would be willing to do that. However, unfortunately, my treasury money is not unlimited, especially since it appears I must spend some money to increase security.
That's more than understandable, and to be honest, that's more than I would have expected. I know it was quite a forward question to ask, but we seem to find ourselves in positions where we are less equipped and less able to equip ourselves than we would probably like sometimes.
He says, I understand. Well, I hope that in some ways the gifts
I will literally interrupt him there. Sorry to interrupt you all, but I will literally interrupt him there. I'll take my axe out. I'll go, I myself am trying to get rid of a curse. So, that's not going to be cheap. I'll put the axe away.
He kind of looks and he says, I am sorry to hear that you're dealing with a cursed item. I might be able to talk to some of the, perhaps, priests of the city and see if they'd be able to assist you with that, although such a thing would probably take more time than you have. But I think, and then as he says, I think, this one guard that he sent out comes back and goes up to Lord Roaringhorn and whispers in his ear, and Roaringhorn says, oh, him, really? And then pauses and says, all right, very well, I suppose. Thank you. And so the guard bows and then goes back to his post in front of the door. Door closes. Lord Roaringhorn says, well, I don't know where your Moon Maiden is, but I do know someone who's supposed to be the captain of it. I didn't realize that one was next to the other. But if you go to the Hanging Lantern, it's a fest hall near the Waterdeep docks, you'll find someone there who may be able to help you. Specifically, a man named Osk Thunderhail. He is a captain. I use the word loosely. He's well known for being someone who spends more of his time either drunk or trying to win money from other people more drunk than he does actually piloting his ship. There is also a rumor that he's been responsible for several raids upon Waterdeep's ships, but we've never been able to prove anything. All I'll tell you is that he's from Luskan, which should tell you all that you need to know. And you know a little bit about Luskan's reputation, so that doesn't surprise you too much. He says he is the captain of this, and according to the information that I've just received, he may still be at this inn, at this fest hall in the Docks District. Be warned, though, Thunderhail is not the kind of person to be straight. If any of you have anyone who is used to telling a tall tale, perhaps telling a story that isn't directly straight ahead, perhaps even lying on occasion. As he says this, he keeps saying these things, and you feel like Celsic, like he keeps like somehow drifting over your face. I'm sure it's just coincidental, but just like,
I'm not on trial here.
He says it might be helpful to assist with that.
Again, where did you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Where did you say he was?
So he said he was at this fest hall in the Waterdeep docks, which is called fest hall, basically like a kind of like a beer garden, which is called the Hanging Lantern. The Hanging Lantern, and when you actually, so that's what he says. The other thing he lets you know, of course, is that remember when you actually head out into the larger Sword Coast, I would set out to the east. I have no way of knowing if that's the direction, of course, that Artis actually went. But if I know him, he would have tried to go to some central area. He would have tried to go to more of the middle of the Sword Coast, to get away from the oceans to some extent, and try to lose the giants, perhaps somewhere in either the hills or the forests where it'd be more difficult to find him. But again, he's unpredictable. I can't promise that that's the way that he went.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
And he nods. And so, assuming you're done with him, where are you guys going to head?
I'm done.
I'm done.
River, Greta.
I never said anything to him. No.
River's thinking of food.
But do you have a question for him, River, or not? You don't have to, but
I think so.
Okay.
River is pretty space cadet, so probably not.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Greta.
No, I'm just gonna say thank you and goodbye because we are on a mission.
And
we need to venture on because we don't know when the world will end, but we should finish this before.
he bows slightly and he says, "Indeed," he says, "thank you for helping to delay that end as long as possible. I am glad to see the Harpers gaining such interesting and useful members within its ranks." And he smiles.
You see Greta slightly twitch at interesting.
And he nods and then, sweeps his hand forward. The door opens and you folks are able to leave. So now you have the question of whether you're going down to this. Are you heading to this fest hall? Are you going to, or what else do you want to do? Or do you want to leave Waterdeep? What are your plans?
I'm carrying the saddle.
You do have the saddle. You're just carrying next to you, like under your arm.
I'm has some raised carry capacity.
I'm currently a dwarf in good clothing carrying a saddle. We need to change some of this.
I can probably carry that without any effort. Now I have the strength of a mammoth.
That's
Not
true.
Quite what I had in mind.
Saddle that orc. Wow.
I look at my companions. I think before we go down to that fest hall, maybe a change of clothes might be a good idea. And we could also...
Oh yeah, I'm still in a tux, aren't I?
Outrageous.
I don't know, you're going to a fest hall in a tux.
Yeah.
That's,
That makes a statement, that really does. Right.
Yeah.
I think we should go to the fest hall. Who else thinks that?
Directly or getting changed on the way?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm up for that.
I'm not changing some side street. We can just pop
Off, I assume. Sorry, hang on.
And I'm like already half like
Because we
undoing
are-
the dress. Like
Hang
what? We're not changing?
No!
Well, my
Get
my
back on
idea
again.
my idea of getting changed into my armor is just taking the suit off. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Armored.
It's all right for you.
I think I would like to
it
go
is.
back.
Yeah, it is.
I would like to go back to the inn,
Mhm.
and then we can change clothes and maybe get some weaponry, and then go to the fest hall in the docks. It doesn't sound like a
That sounds
healthy.
good. That sounds good.
What if that
Remember
weird
what happened
guy
last
thing-
time we went looking for down the docks dressed up?
No.
No.
There was a slight mob situation.
Oh, that was yeah. So let's go and change our clothes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So you head back to the inn. As you do so, passing some. There's, of course, this is still in the evening, so there are not nearly as many people on the streets. But still, there are some that pass you. You notice a couple kind of looking askance at you as you walk by. The Dragonborn dressed up and the orc dressed up in the tux and the whole business as they go by. Also, Greta, although you probably fear that they're going to be looking at you, they seem to take somewhat less interest in a dwarf carrying a saddle than they do in carrying, like, they seem to be much more interested in issues with like, say, orcs and so on in tuxes than anything else. So you seem to be somewhat less attention seeking than they are. You get back to the inn and are able to change your clothes quickly. There's almost nobody in the inn at this time, so you're able to do that fairly quickly. And then you can head out. It is probably about, let's say, 10:30 or 11 p.m. now, so pretty late in the evening. But of course, from tavern point of view, the night is young, right?
Oh yeah. I had a question whilst we're walking.
Yes.
The potion that I was given of giant strength, the
Yes.
potion of hill giant strength
Yes.
specific. Mechanically, do I know what that does?
Yes. So a potion of hill giant strength will give you. You know, and I'm just gonna look it up here instead of.
Yeah, that's cool.
I believe it lasts an hour, if I'm not mistaken. But so it gives you a strength of 21. And your strength score changes for 1 hour. So as opposed to sort of combat things where you only want to use them in combat, this is the kind of thing you would probably have if you expect to have several combats in relatively quick succession. You know, but or if you needed, you know, I mean, you're strong normally, but not that strong. So being able to pursue, you know, lift a portcullis or you know, do some other feat of strength becomes a lot easier if you've got a strength of 21 as opposed to what you normally do.
Well, yeah, as opposed to what I normally have, which is 20.
Yeah, that's true. It's not as much. That's true. That's
So
fair
I'm
enough.
gonna offer it out to the group. I'm gonna say this is. I don't think, given my animal attunement now and how much we've been training recently, I don't think this is going to be much use to me. It'll be more use to someone who does, you know, melee combat, but isn't maybe as strong as me.
Well, I can take it just if we're in a pickle and
Go for
I'm
it.
out of spells.
Go for it.
Mechanically
You
not
need-
useful to me because all of my stuff's based on my dex modifier.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't know.
sorcerer.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That answers that question. Okay,
Yeah.
Greta, take the potion of hill giant strength.
And it's not because we think she will just drink it when she's hungry or thirsty.
Exactly.
I was a little concerned about that. I'm not gonna lie. I
You,
was
you
like,
look over
please
and you
don't
see
let
her just like punching her fist through tables. Like,
Yeah.
did you drink the potion? No. Oh crap. I mean,
No.
no,
Ripping
Dad.
The doors off of all taverns.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just really excited, not overly strong. That's not, yeah. Okay, so you're able to do that, and then so you are walking to where this place supposedly is. Now, these are down in the dock ward, and if you remember, you did in fact visit the dock ward before when you were seeking out that other dancing master, and you had all that kind of stuff. So
Was I present for the stream?
no, this is one I think that you missed. This is one where they went
Can I
down.
give a synopsis?
This was pretty cool, actually. This was the one where they had to find Master Stevens, and they had to kind of get other to basically give back the shoes that the actual dancing master that you wanted to use needed, and all that stuff. It was a fun little side thing, but they managed to get there, and so as they get back down into the docks, now of course the dock ward is no prize even during the day, but it's even a little more creepy at night in terms of, you know, people roaming the streets and so on. But the place that you're headed to, that you're explained to, is actually very well lit. The Hanging Lantern is a fairly prominent fest hall, and in fact I'll even zoom in a little bit here. Somewhere around right here that I'm pinging on the map is where you can find them. And as you get close, let me switch up the music here. You can hear from coming inside the fest hall. Let's see. I think this is it. Let me see if this is right. Wait for it. Yep. And then we got a lively cafe going on.
Sounds like we're about to bump into some.
Oh, wait. No. Stop. I didn't know they were going to get the No. I don't
You
need
just
that.
want tavern music, don't you? You want burly tavern music.
I know. I want... what I'm actually looking for specifically is... Let's see. Not that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. This is what we get. So you hear this as you're walking up to it. You actually can hear this music. You hear coming from inside, and whoever's playing the fiddle is doing a pretty good job at it. Actually, like it's like, yeah, you're getting down with a, you know.
Even in Germany, we learn this song.
Yep, they are digging it. And you can hear there's sort of a great shouting coming from inside. Hey, ho, and up she rises. Hey, you can hear that going inside, right? And it seems like it's just a single fiddle. There are some people accompanying from behind him, but one fiddle in particular is really dramatic, like dun 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 dun, you know.
Oh no.
And the door you can see is slightly ajar, and the music is spilling out onto the street.
I think we should maybe go visit that dragon, tell it what we have learned, and I would like to try the saddle on the new pony, and I just turn around.
But we have to find the ship.
Yeah. Where you
People,
going?
don't you hear that? It's
Yeah?
it's Diego Maradona again inside there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, you said his name the third time.
Dude, you summoned him.
No.
So you hear this kind of clapping.
I've never known Maradona to have a fiddle.
I'm going towards the pub.
Okay.
I'm hiding behind Urash.
Okay. What is River, Saber?
I'm going in right alongside Urash.
River and
Yeah,
Celsius,
we're
I should say.
following.
Full swagger.
Okay, now
Yeah.
now you guys, so Urash goes in, of course, always has an imposing presence, but here he is not the center of attention. Instead, the focus is on the center of the room where there's a constant clapping going on, and there seems to be what looks more like a dance-off. There are basically two people that are basically doing this dance-off in front of groups, like doing the kind of, you know, the Russian, the leg kick dance, you know, and all this stuff, like, going around. There's no, I want to make sure we didn't get the idea of breakdancing. It's not that. But there's that sort of thing going on. And up on a wooden, basically up on a table, is someone repeatedly playing, and with speed, playing this fiddle. And you can see there's a couple of people who are playing behind him. There's a guy with like a little bit of an accordion, and there's someone kind of like ringing some bells and stuff like that. But the big thing is just the fiddler, who's doing his stuff. And why is Roll20 not doing this second? Give me more fiddle. Don't stop. Give me more fiddle. Thank you. Jeez. More fiddle. So, and at the moment, the person's back is turned to you as he's sort of spinning around. The place is packed. This is a fairly large place anyway, and there's probably a good 100 people in here. It's a very different kind of party, I'll just put it that way, like a very different clientele than the one you were just at. They all look rough and ready, a bunch of sailors, eye patches, quite a few, you know, sort of wooden canes, like chairs being stomped on the ground.
This is my kind of pub.
Yeah. So it's definitely there. So see you, Garrett. So it's definitely like, you know, doosh, 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 as they're sort of dancing around. And his back is turned to you, and you see this dance-off going on between two of them. One of the people in the center of the circle looks like sort of this old salt who's got white hair and an eye patch and has a peg leg, and yet he is kicking it up like just as well as the person ahead, like right opposite him, who's got the, you know, no injuries or anything like that. It's obvious to speak of, as this guy is fiddling. So far, no one's noticed you.
First thing I'd like to do is make my way up to the bar, I think.
Good luck. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of people, but you can try to make your way through. Okay.
Me too.
All right.
I will move in behind Urash.
Okay.
I'll draft it.
I was gonna say, so Urash is just like, it's like in Princess Bride. Everybody move! Like he just walks forward towards the bar. Greta and River, what are you doing as those two are
I
doing
am
this?
standing behind Urash. This is a good place to be.
Okay, River.
I'm behind the party. I'm following.
I just want to be where everyone's gone.
It's good times.
Okay. So as you get up to the bar, you can see there's like you still can't really get a look at the person's face is kind of in shadow. And there's a bartender who's kind of looking up at the fiddle, kind of smiling and laughing. This big guy with a huge gut and sort of an open shirt. You see a bunch of like grayish white hairs, chest hair, like sticking out of his shirt. And as you come, I was like, you know, haha, that's what I'm talking about. And is kind of, you know, shaking his mug around and banging it on the bar the way everyone else is. Also takes no notice of you as you arrive there.
So what you're saying is there's not enough light here to see the fiddler's face?
No, it's that his face, he keeps turning away, like not intentionally. It just happens to be that his face is turned away from you. The suspicion is real. Oh, man. So yeah, so he has not taken notice of you yet.
Is this the bartender?
Yes.
Bang on the bar.
Okay. So you bang on the bar.
Level to the
Urash,
bar. Like, how is my head at least showing?
You're like your eyes like just sort of like Kilgore was here. Kilroy was here. Like eyes right above like so you're like this. And Urash, you bang on the bar. He's like, all right, what you want?
Ales and information.
Ales I can provide. Information ain't free though. And he puts.
That's all right.
He pulls out takes this huge, like what looks like essentially a cask under one arm and just leans it up and pours it into this mug, and then puts it over by you, and he says, right, that'll be 2 copper. Information will be another 3.
All right, I'll give him the 5 copper. I say, we're looking for Osk Thunderhail. Have you heard of him?
Sure I have. You told me that first. You could have saved yourself the copper. Why, that's him right there! And he points over, and you see that actually dancing around on the table, he's pointing to the fiddler.
All right.
That's Osk right there.
3 more ales.
I'm like, hey!
He is completely it doesn't notice you at all, Celsic. Right?
I'll get 3 more drinks.
Okay. So that's another 2 copper each. So,
yeah,
so you drop all that, sort of poured out to them. Now we do the thing. Now, chat, you're gonna have to work with me here. If you've ever been in a fraternity house in a college, or you've ever been to a party, there's that moment if you're trying to carry alcohol from one side of the room to the other. And I happen to know this, even though I myself do not drink. I do not drink.
Why would I carry it away?
Well, you normally carry it from one place to the other, so you can, you don't want to stay up near the bar, so you go to the place where you're going to be sitting down. I mean, maybe you did. That's not what I did. When I was doing stuff, and I was always bringing drinks for other people because I don't drink, so I was holding it up above me, right, and trying to avoid like bumping into people and sloshing it. So basically, that's what you're doing, Arash. Like you have your arms above you, and you're trying to like go wherever it is that you're going. Although you haven't told me where you're going yet, I don't think.
I'm going to turn around and hand the beers to the party.
Okay.
I will lick my beer.
It's delicious. If only there was iced beer, it would be even more delicious. But it is in fact. It's and I should say, now actually, River, have you ever had occasion in your wanderings through the wild to be exposed to alcoholic beverages at all?
No.
Yeah. So.
But maybe she has eaten some fruit that wasn't like fresh anymore.
Well, like maybe like off fruit, but I'm pretty sure that like actual raw alcohol is a little different from eating off fruit.
Right. Now at the moment you're just licking it. I mean, you're not going to fall over, drunk yet. But it tastes. It's odd, River, because it tastes like you're like, oh, why would people like this? And you're like, I mean, I guess I understand why some people would, but I mean, it's not bad, really. It's pretty good. It's sort of one of these deals where,
getting better the more I have.
Yeah, the more I have of it. And I just like keep idly being like, oh yeah. Oh.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please, River.
This is gross, but I can't stop drinking it.
Oh, shoot.
Just while you're doing that, I'm going to pass Celsic his beer, nudge him, and point over at the fiddler and say, that's the captain we're looking for.
I
got a 6.
need a way to get his attention then.
All right, so you tell her that. Greta, you notice that River is a little unsteady on her feet, and by a little, I mean quite a bit. You're not really holding it all together, River, except you feel like you probably could do with some more. You also don't know when they started rotating the fest hall, but they do seem to be spinning it around you, which seems a little unreasonable. Like, you don't know why they would do that to you. Yeah, because everyone else is like in play. It's just circling around you, so it's pretty, You also don't know why everyone's not freaked out by this, but they all seem to just be standing there while the building clearly spins around you. So it's,
Right.
Yeah.
Do I
all the while
notice
I'm
this?
like drinking too much. Like I've finished the beer by now.
Yeah, exactly. I would say Greta notices it. I think you were looking at the fiddler and talking to Selsey, Goresh. But if this continues, you will certainly notice it soon, unless Greta wants to notify you before that.
River, what are you drinking?
Socks. I don't know. It's
Okay,
over
okay.
though. I don't have any more.
No.
Wait, do you have a twin that's standing next to you?
No.
I really like you. I just want you to know that. I've had so much fun at this party.
Oh my god.
And I love you.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here. Do you have more socks?
I'll pat her on the back. Yeah. You should put that drink away. You need something to eat now.
Oh, I like food. Do you have any?
I'm pretty sure they serve something here, so I'll just,
Okay.
climb up to the bar like, hey,
Right, what you want?
some food for my friend here. Maybe some bread or something.
Some bread? And he kind of
What
looks,
do
he
you
says,
serve here?
we only seal one thing. And he reaches below, he's like any good fesshole, the thing to go with beer is sausage. And he plots down this massive bucket of what looks like kielbasa. Like it's just a ton of just kielbasa and sausage. And he's like, what else you expect in a fesshole? It'll be 1 copper per link, and every link's worth it.
Okay, I just pushed the bucket over to River. Here, that will get your stomach settled. Sit down, you'll feel better in a moment.
Okay, so she just says, he says, no, wait, it's copper per link, and like River's like, like power chugging the links of kielbasa. He's like, I don't even know what the entire bucket would cost. No one's ever really asked me. I don't.
That's why I asked for bread.
He's just sort of staring. As you're doing this, Urash and Selsig, are you heading over to? What are you doing? Are you just standing watching the fiddler, or?
Sort of looking for a way we could potentially get his attention without causing a barroom brawl.
Okay. So he's still sort of jumping around and fiddling. Well, how do you want to do this? Like, how do you want to gather? I mean, how do you want to get his information? Because right now, like this, you still got the dance off. Right now, it looks like the peg leg guy has taken down 2 possible challengers in the dance off. If you're judging properly, he's still going at it. The other 2 are kind of exhausted, sweaty, kind of like their friends pounding him on the back. And the fiddler's still going at it, and the peg leg dude is still dancing away.
Looks like we need a way to stop the show. I know, Jurash. Hold my beer.
Yep, I'll go look at Celsius. Well, I've danced once already tonight. It's your
With
turn,
that, I
man.
handed my beer and I just leaped into the.
I'll hold your beer.
All right, so you leap against it. Now, you notice a couple things here. The first thing is that as you're leaping in, the fiddler has just turned around to listen to what someone behind him was saying, so you still don't see the fiddler. But you do see the guy right in front of you, who is the peg leg dude. Now, he is taller than you, as I said, kind of looks like this old salt. And he looks like he's out of central casting for an old sea dog. Like, he should be on a barrel in like some story that you've read, so he's there. He's got a big thing in his cheek, which may be him chewing a quid of tobacco or something like that. And he's dancing with his cane. He's like, "Hey, we got another one, boys. All right then, you laddie. What about this? Can you do the reel and the run?" And he does this incredible spinning like kick thing with his peg leg, all keeping time with his peg leg. Talk on the floor as he's going. So how do you want to, Selsig, approach this? Are you just gonna like break it down wildly, or are you trying to match his movements? How are you want to do
We're
this?
going to warm up by just trying to match him move for move currently, just to get things started, get in the rhythm.
All right, let's have you make a performance check for me if you have that. If not, I'll just take I'll take actually no, you know what? I take that back. Not performance. Let's make it a dexterity. If you've got acrobatics, I will take that as well.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. 14.
Okay, so you're able to match his movements. He's pretty good, though. You get the impression that he has not turned it on full throttle, though. Like, he's just kind of, he's kind of like measuring you as much as you're measuring him. He's like, right, not bad, laddie. However, I don't know if you could really do the reel and leap. And he starts doing this spinning thing similar to what he did before, but now every third spin, so he goes spin, spin, leap, and he clicks his peg leg and his you know, regular boot, his one-footed boot together. So, you know, spin, spin, leap, click, spin, spin. They're all, you know, they're all like cheering and banging, you know, mugs against each other and everything.
Okay. See, can I come up with a dance move on the fly here? So I start with just, you know, building up some momentum.
Okay.
Double jump, clap between the legs. Double jump, clap between the legs.
I love it. Let's have you make another acrobatics check. We're gonna do this at this is a harder difficulty level. I'm not gonna tell you what, but this has got to be
okay. 14 again.
All right, so you make it. Just you're kind of like you manage to keep up, but you do keep up with it. It's a little sloppy. I also want to remind chat, by the way, that if you are a supporter of my Patreon on my channel, you can inspire these players. This does count as one of the official campaigns for the month, so they may need an inspiration down the line. I'm just saying, if you want to see whether or not they can manage this. Okay, now he says, "Aye, not bad, laddie, but the time's come for us to up the ante just a bit, and that's what I call the barrel roll." And he jumps up and he says, and he spins in the air, and it looks basically like he's spinning 3 times in the air. Like he leaps up and then lands thuck in rhythm. So spin, jump, thuck, jump, spin, 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 thuck, jump, spin, 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 right? This is incredible. Like, you're just like, gee, what is even this? And they're just like, ha 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 ha, everyone's cheering, and they're just like, better give it up, halfling, you got nothing. You know, etc. Meanwhile, River, by the way, is about halfway through this bucket of kielbasa. I'll come back to that in a little bit. Greta, you are you're concerned, Greta. Yeah.
I just want to shout out to Celsig, do a barrel roll.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly. What do you got, Celsig?
A meme quota for this evening.
So I start spinning on one leg, trying to go faster, 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 and then do a backflip.
Oh, yes. Whether he has the potion of flying, Kirex.
Can I just turn around and just have a look from the bar at what is going on over there? Because I really want to see this.
Yes, although there's a lot of people in between you. Every so often you see this old man leaping above the crowd spinning. And now you begin to see this sort of laughing and people yelling about a halfling spin. And you don't know what that means, but there's only one halfling that you know that went into the center of that room. And
I'm just like, hopefully there are no knives involved this time.
Like, guy has got a peg leg. We don't know how he got it.
All right, let's see that roll here, Celsig. Acrobatics.
Come on.
Getting harder. You kind of like, you stumble a bit. Clearly the guy has the upper hand now. He's just like, no, laddie, that's not the way you do it. The way you do it is like this. And you hear the audience now is starting to chant, peg, leg, peg, leg, peg, leg, peg, leg. And you're like, peg leg. So you assume that's referring to the guy. And then he's like, all right, you give the people what they want. And he starts now, he pulls up his good leg and is just hopping around like a pogo stick on only his peg leg. Like, thuck, 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 thuck. And they're like cheering wildly. This is apparently the dance finishing move that he pulls out on everybody, right? And everyone is just like, ha ha ha! Yeah, that's right, chat. That's right, chat. Peg leg. Where's my peg leg at? Where's my peg leg at, chat?
River is still eating, yes?
River is still eating, yes.
Okay, I will try to just, I don't know, move through the crowd to get over there because somebody's going to get hurt. I should be there.
Okay. I love the peg legs in chat. Oh my god. This is the greatest thing ever. All right, so you start moving your way over. You're trying to kind of like sort your way between. All right, good seeing you, Taliesin. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so we're going through. They're doing the peg leg thing. Celsig, what are you going to do here? This is.
Clarify, he is just bouncing on his
He's
peg
literally
leg.
like a pogo stick jumping on just his peg leg.
I attempt to do the same, but on my arm.
Please tell me it's the arm where you had the finger that disappeared before.
Can I reach him?
I'll have you make, let's see. I'll have you make a dexterity check, Greta, to see if you can get through the crowd fast enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
On the arm. Not a save. Check, not a save.
Sorry. Sorry. Let's do this again.
If it matters, I was going to go onto my left arm, and I think the right hand was the one that got damaged, though. But just by default, I was just going to go that way.
You're trying, Greta. You're like, please, coming through, and they're like, oh, stop pushing. There's like you're getting there, but pretty slowly. You get there just in time to be able to see him jumping up and down on his arm. Now I need you to make an acrobatics check for me, please.
Oh, if I have one crit tonight, please.
Oh! So,
no, halfling luck.
Oh, halfling luck, right. That's right. That's right, halfling luck. Oh my god.
If we have ever needed halfling luck.
You want me to bend luck?
That was the wrong crit.
She can bend luck, although he's got a natural halfling luck, which means he can re-roll ones, which is a good thing.
Oh, okay.
But hold that, because you may need to. Actually, I'm not going to let you bend luck on this because you're too busy worrying about sausage and eating food wherever at the moment. Yeah.
Right. So.
Exactly, Baron. Shorty, show what you got. All right, here we go.
Fling. Ooh, 16.
16. All right. So you're hopping. You're like, oh, my arm is not. And so you kind of like stumble over a little bit. And then you sort of fall a little bit. Like don't exactly fall. But as he finishes, and there's sort of a moment of silence, and then everyone cheers wildly. And the guy with the peg leg says, "All right, what's the judgment? Ask, what's the judgment?" And the fiddler turns around and he says, "My judgment, my friends, is that you are fine dancers." Da-da-da-da-da! And the person who is Ask Thunderhail is actually your friend Diego Maradona. He is playing the thing. He is sitting there with the fiddle, and they all cheer wildly. He says, "Good dancers, but unfortunately I can only give the award to my good friend Pegleg," and he points at him, and everyone's like, "Ah, Pegleg!"
I bow graciously.
And Pegleg goes over and says, "It was a good one, laddie, but no one defeats me. I've been at this for 20 years or more, and no one's ever done it. But it's been a while since I've had to pull out the big guns, by which I mean the big leg." And he kind of, and as he sort of pats his leg, you can see that the leg looks like it's been reinforced, like for specifically this purpose, just for being able to do this. So Pegleg is the winner. I love the Peglegs. Oh my god.
I've never felt so happy about losing.
I love it. So, but yes. Now you notice, by the way, when you are looking at Diego Maradona, but this is not the way that he sounded. This is not his voice at all. And he looks down at you and says with a grin, "Well, it's a pleasure to have you all here. I see that we've followed each other quite a bit, haven't we?" He says, "Welcome to my little roost here in Waterdeep, where I'm free to be more myself, my friends." And he kind of does on the fiddle a little bit of a do-do-do-do-do, just a bit, and then smiles at you and says, "So what brings you here?" Now you can see the crowd is starting to break up a little bit. The dance competition obviously is over for the moment.
I'm still at the bar. I'm ordering another drink.
Okay.
I've also got my drink, so I'm going to start.
Yeah. Well, no, I probably drunk that.
So Celsic, you're the only one then that he's sort of speaking to as he sees you.
Well, we meet again, my friend. Some might think this is more than coincidence.
He says,
could it be?
And you actually, that's true, Greta, because you now have arrived at the side of the crowd. You were able to see that, as I mentioned. So you and Celsic are both there. River, by the way, you're about 3/4 of the way through this bucket.
Yeah.
You're starting to feel a little, you love food and you definitely like that beer, but you haven't had the combination of these things in quite this way. And you're a little bit of rumbling in the tummy going on, it's a little, yeah, it's like, bleh. Yeah, now that's a good question. Do you slow down in your eating despite this reaction, or are you just like, damn the torpedoes? Like,
I slow down. I slow down because everything's still spinning a lot.
Yes.
And I'm like having a hard time. I'm just like holding the bucket like.
Yeah, so, it's definitely spinning. Now it feels to you like, in addition to the room spinning, it's like spinning up and around. You're not hungry anymore. You may not, but the room's still spinning. You also feel just like very uncomfortable, and And the bartender sort of looks over and is like, "All right, I've seen that one before." And he actually gets behind the bar and he says, "All right, lads, clear space, clear space." And he sort of clears a space around you, River. And he's like, "Right, now do whatever you need to do." And he goes back behind the counter. He has not specified any of this. I'll come back to you in a bit. Urash, you actually hear him do all this. You can actually see that River looks to be somewhat distressed. But you also are wondering why the music stopped, presumably, because, again, the dance seems to have half broken up. Selsig and Greta, you are still facing, of course, the Osk Thunderhail / Diego Maradona character in front of you.
Yeah. Let's face him.
So he looks down and he says, "Well, what can I do for you, my friends? Why have you come back to my establishment here?"
Well, do we call you Osk or do we call you Diego?
"That depends on where you find me, my lad. But generally here, you can know me as Osk Thunderhail. And if you were to find me when I wasn't paying attention, not that that would ever happen, I'd answer to that name first. Diego Maradona, though, is a useful way to get information when I'm visiting other places and cities. Good ways to get information about, economic factors and how they move from city to city, if you follow what I mean."
And maybe the routes that they take to go from city to city and how well looked after they are and whether they'd be missed. I think I can follow the cut of your jib.
He says, "That's precisely right." He says, "So, now that we understand each other, the question is, what are you doing here?"
Believe it or not, we were actually told to seek you out. I believe you are the captain of the Moon Maiden.
And he says, "Captain of the Moon Maiden?" And some of the people around him who hear this conversation, all a bunch of rough and ready types, look like pretty hard-edged guys, all sort of looking at each other. They all start laughing a little bit. In the background, you hear like some parrot squawking in the background. And he says, I mean, there's lots of rumors about where I do and don't spend my days and nights, but at the moment I spend most of my time in the fest hall. Who exactly would be telling you that Osk Thunderhail would be captaining a ship like the Moon Maiden?
Right, trying to remember 5 minutes ago. Well, what's happened since then? Hang on, has anyone got some info that can help with that? So I've literally got Hanging Lantern, Osk Thunderhail, Moon Maiden Captain. That's my notes.
Yeah, so we've got the Hanging Lantern. We're in the Hanging Lantern. We're looking for Osk Thunderhail because the Moon Maiden sighted some floating debris between Lusk and Waterdeep, and that's where the dancing wave disappeared.
Let me just jot that down. Okay. Yeah. Well,
quest log, everyone. Quest log.
Mm-hmm.
I have some notes.
You have to scroll down a little bit to get to it.
Yeah.
Well, we were asked to look into the disappearance of the dancing wave, and we'd been led to believe that the Moon Maiden may have sighted debris relating to it.
And he sort of looks down and says, "So you've heard about that, have you? Now let's just say that I had seen this dancing wave you make reference to. What would be in it for someone who wanted to relay this information to you, you might say?"
Suppose it depends on how they valued their information.
And he nods. He says, "Well, I can tell you this information might be of great value to you, if you're interested in finding it, of course. And I would be more than happy to give that information as long as the price is right."
Understandable. I believe the information as to the fate of the dancing wave is worth something to someone, so there could be some sort of helper's fee vis-a-vis information.
Good. That's where talking my language. See, lads? He can't win a dancing contest against old Pegleg, but he certainly knows how to talk to someone about business. That's what I like to see. Very well, then. And he says, "Step into my office." And he jumps down from the table. His men sort of smoothly clear a space for him as he does. And he points down to the bench opposite. So his office apparently is the table.
I sort of gesture for Greta to follow me and just look around to see what's going on with River and Urash currently.
I follow
I'm
you,
checking
I follow
on
you
River.
and I keep glaring at Diego.
Okay. He keeps either relentlessly ignoring you or smiling whenever he sees you looking at him.
Yeah, I don't smile back.
Okay. In the meantime, River, you are really not feeling well, and at this point, I'm going to need you to make another Constitution saving throw here.
Don't throw up on anyone's shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably do.
So, yeah. So the thing about it is, you know, it occurs to you
Just
that this
because
is
you don't want to be nicknamed Huh anymore.
exactly. There's basically right. There's basically I don't think I've ever been in a campaign where two people have vomited in the same campaign. But now
Oh, 2 people so far.
the two people exactly. The campaign is young.
The
So
night is still young.
and so let the river flow. Ugh, jeez, that's disgusting. God. So the thing about it is that you recognize as you are puking up most of the contents of your stomach that apparently you didn't really chew that much, so that the kielbasa is more or less coming out the same way that it went in, all linked together, you know. So it all it's there on the floor, making a pretty wide space. Now you can see why this space was cleared out. No one pays attention except possibly Urash, but everyone else is just like not paying attention at all. When your stomach feels when you're feeling much better, the bartender kind of looks over and nods and says, "Right, be 2 copper for the cleanup. If you can salvage any of the kielbasa, I'll knock a copper off it for you." And
I was about to ask how drunk I was, because if I was still really drunk, I think I'd want the food.
you're kind of not. I mean,
I'm not that drunk.
Well, yeah, you've purged a lot of that initial
Okay.
drunkenness, but under normal circumstances, you might have been like, yes, that would go from really fun to really incredibly even more disgusting than normal leading up to
I will give him 2. I will rack up my debt, and I will give him another 2 copper, and I will ask him for some water, and some good water, not the trough crap.
And he says, "Good water. What do you think this is, lad? Water deep?" And he laughs at his own joke. And then he pulls out what looks like basically a pitcher of some kind, a wooden pitcher, and he pours water into a mug, which certainly seems waterish to you. I mean, it certainly seems like water. And he says, "Right, that one's on the house."
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll hand it to River. I'll pat her back very, very gently, and I'll say, "Look, yeah, sorry about that. Drink this slowly and just take it easy for the rest of the night. By the way, this is gonna suck in the morning."
Yeah, well, why do you drink socks? I say as I'm drinking the water.
That's a good question. That's a really good question, and I've never thought about it, but yeah, that's a good question.
As you two
And
are...
I do this as I'm drinking my beer.
Yeah, exactly. One hand beer, second hand
Yeah.
like hand in the... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. Meanwhile, Greta and Celsa, you were sitting on the bench opposite Ask Thunderhail, and he sits there with his hands folded, and he says, "Right, let's talk payment first. Once that's settled, we can work out what happens next."
Okay then.
He says, "Now the question is, what are you willing to give for this information?"
Well, we haven't been promised anything specific, so I'm willing to front 2 gold as a gesture of good faith.
2 gold? And he kind of laughs and sort of says, 2 gold? 2 gold? No, laddie, you don't really understand. I'm not looking for money here, lad. It's magic, what I'm after. I'm looking for some more of the magical qualities that you might possess, if you have any such thing on you.
Maybe you could just decide to help us because it's the right thing to do.
He looks at you sort of thunderstruck, like, "Oh, you know, you're right, Greta. Why didn't I think about that? Lads, all along, I could have just done the right thing to help people. Instead of," and they're all sort of looking at him. He's like, I don't know why I didn't think about it before. Maybe, let me think about, oh, because I would never do that ever. Are you kidding me? You don't do something to help other people without something in it for you. The question is whether or not what I've got is something you're willing to pay. And let me tell you, This is information you'll want to have if you're looking for the dancing wave.
I stare at him in my mind like, yeah, and I could set people on fire all the time, but I also don't do that. But I'm not saying it.
No, I know.
I'm just trying to see. So I'm sort of rummaging with a pack, just sort of saying, just loud enough for him to overhear to like see potion of water breathing, potion of healing, pixie dust.
Oh God, you've still got that pixie dust, haven't you?
What can I say? I'm a ranger who is a pack rat.
Yeah. Kleptomaniac.
Pack ranger, so to speak.
I sort of look up and grab. Have you got anything?
Currently, I just got a death stare.
I sort of lean over, like,
No.
waving my hand between them.
At this stage,
You want to give him something, really? Like, after this?
We need the information.
Maybe somebody else got the information. I mean, he wouldn't have been there alone. He must have had a crew or something. Maybe some kind of decent person was on that ship.
You're welcome to go look for him.
I'm gonna usher River towards
I'll go
Kelsey
off.
and Greta with me.
I look at Celsius and say,
You
I'll
can
go
ask the
off.
harpers.
I'll go off and check on River. And but maybe I can leave you a little guidance. And I'm gonna like put my hand on Celtic's shoulder while I'm turning away, walking away, and I'm putting the spell guidance on him.
Okay.
Okay.
That is once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice.
Okay.
Nice.
But it's only very short, so it should be like in the next minute, just in case you're like, I don't know, bartering with him or anything.
Yeah.
It only goes on for a short amount of time.
My
But yeah,
first thought
and
was
then I
maybe
walk over. Then I walk
fight.
over to River
Okay.
and let you do your thing. And I'm not setting anybody on fire or anything.
Yet. Okay.
Right. Just having a look what I could use possibly to make use of that.
Okay, so while that happens, we kind of meet in the middle then,
Yep.
because River and myself are walking towards that table where you guys are.
And people are sort of separating. Some people are, have left the fest hall or they're moving to the side, so it's a little bit easier to move now.
And Gray, you see, like River does not look well, like at all.
Nope.
And I'm a few beers in. But by this point, I'm not sure how much I drank during the dancing contest, but I'm a bit tipsy now.
Is it like obvious that she's not feeling well?
I would say it's. I mean, unless River is going to is trying to make conscious efforts to hide that she's not feeling well, it's pretty obvious. I don't know. Are you, River?
I don't care who sees me.
Okay.
I'm not making any conscious efforts. Although the second that Greta walks into my line of sight, I'm like, "Where's your sister go?"
We will talk about that tomorrow. Maybe just sit down.
Oh no, with this stuff, you're not going to be doing anything with it tomorrow.
I look at her. Just like,
One of us is going to be carrying this one tomorrow.
she just had like one beer. What is up with her?
Snowflake, the snowflake doesn't drink. What can I say?
It's gross. I'm glad that they stopped turning the bar though, because that was very uncomfortable.
I just look. I'm like, yeah, it sucks when that happens, but I'm glad that stopped.
Did you give her some? Did you give her some water already?
Yeah, she's got some.
She has a mug between like her hands that I assume she's just like, yeah, exactly, sipping. Yeah, exactly.
So, just stay here, and if you feel very, very queasy,
Oh
just
no,
focus-
I won't feel queasy again. The floor's already clean.
what?
Don't ask. Don't ask. It's fine. It's fine.
Just
Tavern
focus.
talk. What can I say?
Just focus on the mug, okay? Just focus on the mug of water. That's a good mug of water, and it's with you.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm just like, water's going to make you feel better. Just don't drink it all at once, okay? Small sips. It'll make you feel worse if you drink lots of it.
Small sips.
Also, Urash, there was a big surprise over there. That Diego Maradona guy is a real douchebag. Who would have thought?
Who? What? Why are we talking about that guy?
The fiddler, he's Diego Maradona, like I said. And he was just like playing a role, and now he's on his home turf. And he's like even being a bigger douchebag than he was before. And now he wants some magical item from Celsic in exchange for information about the boat we're looking for. And Celsic is willing to give it to him.
No, I was gonna barbecue him. Can I do that? It's okay.
I walk towards the table.
The table with Celsig and...
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
I'm staying with River.
Okay. All right, you get back over. Celsig, in the meantime, what have you been doing and chatting with him?
First of all, I'm going to be like, well, magic comes in many shapes and sizes and forms. You could have a magic rock or a magic sword or an enchanted piece of chicken. What sort of magic interests you, Osk?
And he stops. He goes, "Not the enchanted piece of chicken, that's for sure." And the people they laugh kind of not very pleasantly. And he says, "However, I'm not too picky. What I'm looking for is something of magical value that I might be able to get some value of myself, or perhaps resell on the open market. Really, I'm just continuing to move the economy forward. It's important to do so in these dark times. You might call me a captain of industry, in addition to being the captain of a ship."
Well, we as adventurers, we don't necessarily have things to hand, but we have our tendencies to come into such things as we are following investigations, and maybe some things could be diverted towards you.
He says, well, I have some tendencies as well. The tendency is to give you information as soon as you've had the tendency to give me the magic that I require. When that happens, I'm happy to provide you the information I have. And at this point, Urash has come up alongside. And he says, yes, the barbarian. It's good to see you again. I hope it's a pleasure to have you back here now that we're all in our more normal guises. And he kind of, looks you up and down again and doesn't say that dismissively, just kind of like, hey, we meet again type of thing.
Can I maybe use the guidance now to roll for insight to see if I can figure out some way to get past his wall that he's putting up?
You need to be a little more specific than that.
Yeah.
Because remember, insight is really kind of getting a sense of where he's at. If you wanted to do an insight to see whether or not he's being truthful about whether he'll give you information, that you pretty much can take a good guess that he's willing to give you information. How reliable it is, you don't know, but he certainly is willing to give you information. You can do that without even the benefit of an insight check.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make use of guidance before it wears off, since it'd be a shame.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. I just try for a persuasion just to see if I can get him to budge at all. Like maybe we could give him a deposit. We get the deposit back when we bring him a nice gold shiny magic item.
Okay.
So yeah, well, what if we offer you a deposit, and when some magical items find their way to you, through totally legitimate means, you could return the deposit, since we obviously can't get very far without our funds.
And he kind of narrows his eyes and he says, "You mean to tell me you don't have any magic so far? You've been doing quite a bit of adventuring, even since I saw you in Neverwinter. You mean you don't have anything else?"
Not on me. So Rush wants to chip in at this point.
I'm just drinking my beer right now, but I'm gonna kind of look at. Well, I'm swaying slightly, but I'm going to look at Diego and kind of go.
I mean, I could try.
Hang on, boss. I got this. So let me get this right. So we're looking for a ship that sank, potentially. You might have information on that ship. But you, Diego, Bosk, Thunderpants, whatever you want to call yourself, who's already been lying to us, is basically now saying, take another drink of my beer, that you're not going to give us the information without a magic item in return. And only a magic item that you yourself deem worthy enough for this information. Am I on the right track here? Dosk, Diegos, whatever your name is?
And he says, why, yes, my burly friend. I'd say that's fairly accurate, although I'm more or less willing to accept most magic you'd be willing to give me. I don't expect miracles.
Okay, I'm going to very quickly, and I'll use a roll for this if you want me to, take my axe out and bury it into the table.
Okay. Go ahead and... no, I don't think you need to do a roll for that.
Okay.
So you lower it. So
similar to, like, you know when someone is threatening someone and they, like, stab a knife into the table?
Oh, yeah.
It's now in the table. It's like...
So you do that.
There is a magic item for you right there. There you go. So I tell you what, you want this magic item that bad, it's yours. However, to take this near legendary magical item from me, I need to be dead. Now, in order to do that, this quest is probably going to end up killing us all. Let's be honest. We don't do anything. We're all going to die anyway. However, you give us this information. You know me. You've probably been watching us for a while. I'm not exactly the safe sort. I will be throwing myself into dangerous situations left, right, and center. You want this very dangerous, very legendary, magical axe from me, I'll leave it to you. Or you could not, and we could just take this outside. I could turn you and your mates into soup.
So you say all this, and Celsa, you're kind of like looking up, down, and you notice that the fest hall has grown deadly silent. Like all of the conversation has stopped, and there seems to be a very palpable tension in the air. Oscar looks at you sort of with his arms folded, has this kind of bemused, not amused, bemused kind of expression on his face. And kind of leans back a little bit and sort of looks you up and down and says, he says, I see. So essentially what you're doing is threatening me and telling me that you're going to kick my arse up and down the Sword Coast and all of my mates if we don't give you what you want for free. Is that about the size of it? Now, at this point, Celsic, you notice that there's got to be a good, like, 40 guys around you, sort of all circling you.
Now using guidance roll for perception to see if anyone's maybe going for weapons or something.
Sure, I mean, if you know, that's definitely the case.
I think it's almost a certainty, but let's make sure. So that's 12 plus 12, 16.
Yeah, I mean, there is absolutely the case that you hear the sound of, like, daggers being loosened, of like, but like, the sound of things being drawn out of sheaths. You also notice, Greta, you notice suddenly that, well, that's the night, says the bartender, and immediately like da-da-da-da-da-da, like out the back door behind the bar and closes it. You notice that like the bar, somehow in the process of doing this, he's closed down the bar counter and taken away the cask. Like he basically closed up for the night without you noticing how he did this. And then is basically out behind the door. So you notice that it's deadly silent now, and Osk is just sort of staring at you, Urash, and at the axe.
I don't want this. I don't want to fight, which is weird for me, but I've had enough to drink that I just want to go to bed, to be honest with you. So I'd like to sell this as peacefully as possible. You're a man who knows your magical items. You've heard of the Berserker's axe, right? You've heard of the Axe of Blood. I gesture to the axe.
And he says, the Axe of Blood.
That's it.
And I have heard, and you hear some whispering, and it's an Axe of Blood. You could hear like whispering through the crowd. And
I say, just before he continues, I say, the axe that apparently turns normal men into savages and berserking rampagers, unable to be stopped until they are put down. It's like, so imagine what that'll do to me if your men decide that this needs to get violent.
Okay. River, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. Why is everyone quiet?
There might be some violence happening soon, and then we should try to get Urash and Selsik out of the middle of there, and then out of this building. Okay? The other people here are the bad people.
Okay, I'll
we
throw
wait.
on their shoes.
We wait until they until they make a move.
Yeah.
Maybe Urash gets it under control, but if not, we should help them. Really, we should.
Should we go over there? Should we sit by them?
No, it's fine. We're in their bags. We have the back to the bar. We're in a good place here. We wait.
Okay.
We're in a good spot.
You know what? We need to. This is one of the days that I'm really like. I should have more attention to the lessons about neutralizing poisons. You know that? I really should.
Yeah.
I should have paid attention in that class.
I should have, but I was not in. I feel like I really missed out. It seems
If I'd
so.
only paid attention.
It was Monday morning at 8 a.m. You know, nobody wants that. It's like,
No one
It's
took note.
irrelevant, and it was like, you know. Okay, let's see how that develops over there.
okay, so you basically.
So I will say, I
yeah.
will now end
Yep.
by finishing my drink, putting it carefully on the table, and going, I don't even want this axe, okay? This is a curse, literally a curse. Now, if you were to follow us and I were to die, it's entirely within your right to try and loot this body and take this axe. That's how I got it. However, you wouldn't know what it was. So the second you picked it up, Diego Thunderpants, you would be also cursed. However, I'm giving you that information for free. So I'm trying to have a gesture of good faith there.
So he crosses his arms and he says, if you have this axe of blood, as you say, this is a very valuable item that you're possessing, cursed or not. And indeed, there'd be some who'd pay a pretty penny for it. However, a lot of them wouldn't be willing to pay the money to remove the curse first and get the weapons second. He says, and as for wanting to kill you, I don't know whether we need to do any more messing up of the fest hall. And now that a lot of the people have kind of cleared out and are circled around you, you can kind of see the wide circle of damp liquid where, you know, in previous minutes, River was involved.
Quick perception question.
Sure.
How many people, I'm assuming like normal tavern goers, have either left or fled?
You know, not that. Some of them had left previously when the dance broke
Yep.
up, but the rest of them haven't left since then. These people do not look like. If you had to guess, this might well be his crew because most of them do not seem to be, you know, leaving. A lot of them
Without
have
turning around, how many am I looking at?
50.
50. Okay.
There's a 50. there's a lot of people here around these benches. A lot of them with scimitars and daggers at their belts. This is it's a rough place. And as he's sort of, you know, so he kind of looks around and he says, so obviously trying to kill you and create more violence isn't what we're looking for here. He says, how about this? I'll take anything, even a small magical item. If you can provide it to me, I will give you some information, and moreover, I might even give you a way to reach the place you're looking for this dancing wave. And he folds his arms, you know, or his arms were folded, so they just stay folded. And he gradually leans back and puts his feet up on the table. Like as he's doing this, you know.
I just look at River. I really wish he would just fall down.
Well, out of character, I have no other items on me. Like, the axe is my only chip.
I might have some, but he's not getting some.
I have.
Celsic.
I don't know. That's the thing. I did list off every. No, he's not having the Harper transport key.
I have stuff. I have disappear dust. Does he want disappear dust?
No, he does not want
We
you.
probably want to keep all of that.
Do you want that? We could keep that.
Yes, you should keep that. It's yours.
Well, no, but if we give it to the guy, then we don't have to do a fight, because I want to go to bed.
Yeah, but still, you would have given it to a bad person, and you earned it. It's yours. You should
Is
keep
he a
it.
bad
It was
guy?
a present. He's a bad guy. Yes.
Should we set him on fire?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that they will come
Okay.
when he will be judged.
quick question of the
Sure.
bracelet that I'm wearing.
Yes.
What is that?
That is magical, and I want to say, although actually, to be honest, I don't have a note on it here, but I believe it was a, actually, I do know what that was. It was,
This was a charge thing, wasn't it? I could use it as,
Yes.
as a charge.
yes, and it
Oh, I've forgotten
provided, it basically provided facility in combat. So it would,
Yeah.
mechanically, I think what it did was it added like +1 to your attacks during the combat that you activated it for, and there were a certain limited number of charges. This is one that was definitively not cursed. So
All right, I'll unclip the bracelet and toss it on the table.
he says,
You get that or the axe. It's your choice. You get the axe when I die, and you know it's cursed, so you pick it up with like a rag or something. Or you get this now.
and he sort of looks down at the bracelet, and before he picks it up, he says, "And is this one cursed?"
Probably not.
He kind of looks at you, narrows
Well,
his
I'm
eyes.
not trying to take it back, so I guess not.
He picks it up and kind of looks at the bracelet, and then he passes it back to actually Pegleg, who's standing behind him. And Pegleg sort of looks it up and then whispers something into Osk's ear. And Osk puts it back on the table and nods, says, "That's acceptable, I think. All right, then. I'll take the bracelet, and you've got yourself some information, and, if you want it, a ship. Be aware, though, this ship doesn't always move within the same waters that the people who sent you to find out about this ship might be interested in having you use. We move a little bit outside the law. You might call them guidelines, really," he says.
Do I hear that?
It depends, I guess, on how... I mean, you were by the bar, right? So
I'm at the bar with
yeah,
River.
no, you don't hear that. He's not yelling it out to the whole crowd.
Okay.
So it's a smuggler's ship.
Say again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
So it's a smuggler's ship.
He says, it's more than that. He's like, if you want to hear more about this, I can talk to you about it here. And we'll keep our voice kind of low. This is information most of my crew knows something about already. But nonetheless, I'd rather not have the lads spreading it to everyone who aren't one of them, if you know what I mean. And he says, you want your whole group here to listen, or just you two?
I'm definitely listening. Yeah.
I think just us two for now.
Okay. So he nods and he says, all right then. And he says, so this ship you were looking for, the Dancing Wave, is a transport ship, right? The ship was missing and several weeks overdue. You probably heard that as much from the city. Well, when we were sailing down in the Moon Maiden, this was probably a good, well, I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago, engaged in our usual naval pursuits, and he kind of looks around at everyone. We sighted floating debris. As we went past it in the water, the moon was full, and the light shone down below. And as I went past it, I could see Tidnap subscribing, because that was what he liked to do. Thank you, Tidnap, for subscribing and becoming part of the DRM free community. Give that man a mug of ale, I said to my mate, and he said, sure, and he did that. And after he did that and made Tidnap feel good about himself for being part of the DRM free community, he went back to the story and said, Captain, look there in the water at the side of the ship. And there in the side of the ship I saw it. One of the massive planks that came from the side. It was the symbol of a lady sitting on the moon. Almost certainly that was the Moon Maiden symbol. Whatever is left of your ship is now 50 fathoms deep in the water off of Waterdeep Harbor. And so he sort of stops and waits for effect.
Wait.
So the Moon Maiden was sunk as well? Because we're looking for the Dancing Wave.
He says, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my fault. Out of character, out of DMing, my fault. Not Moon Maiden, Dancing Wave, I'm sorry. He was on the Moon Maiden. He saw the Dancing Wave. Beg your pardon.
Got it. That's
beg
okay.
your pardon.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
I beg your pardon. Never mind, that wasn't destroyed. It was a wave that people were dancing on. That's the symbol that he saw. Sorry. Beg your pardon. Sorry. Anyway, so that was what you saw. So he waits for effect.
So what else have you got for us? Because right now, that we already knew that.
He says, perhaps you won't know this, though.
Go on.
He says, first of all, there's no other Waterdavian merchant ships that have gone missing of late. And I've seen, excuse me a minute, my son is screaming his head off. I want to make sure that he's okay. This is why I actually got distracted. Just give me 1 second to make sure that my son is not dead. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Let's talk more about Pyron's cosplay.
Yeah.
What is this cosplay you're talking about?
The one that's on the stream that says subs to Dragon cosplay.
How does dragon cosplay work? Do I have like to paint my face?
You have to actually breathe fire.
Yes.
What?
Actually,
Yes.
Breathe fire.
Every good dragon cosplayer I've seen has been able to breathe
The
fire.
fire
They've been able to fly as well, which is impressive. But you know, I mean, the passion and the dedication to these people is just second to none.
Breathing fire is not the problem. I can actually do that.
Wait, can you actually do that?
Yes. Yeah. No. Just don't.
I did fire breathing in like a youth circus thing, so I could do that. But I'm not sure I should do it inside here. Ebenezer might get angry.
Maybe not in a new place.
Just tell him you're cooking.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Flambe.
Okay.
I'm just doing like doing something special for stream.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Oh my God. He is having a complete total meltdown. So I apologize. Hopefully you can't hear that in the background. The rest of the family is dealing with it. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, so he was waiting for effect, and then you said more. Oh yes, he was giving you more information. So he said, the other information I've got you is this. 2 nights before I saw the destroyed ship that we're talking about here, the Dancing Wave, I was out on the deck as usual. There was a moon almost full. As I said, it was full 2 days later when I found your ship, but it was almost full. It was heading that direction, and it was a beautiful starry night, not a cloud in the sky, and I could see all directions across the ocean. As I looked, I saw a ship as big as a mountain prowling the northern waters. If it were up to me... Oh, hold on. This is my daughter probably checking for me. So just cogitate on the mountain, ship as big as a mountain. All right.
Giant boat. Definitely a giant boat. Boat with giants on.
Yeah. Giant.
That
That's
sounds
what I'm
plausible.
Giants
Ship
on the
as
boat.
big as a mountain. Definitely. Giants on a boat. It's like snakes on a plane, only worse.
Wait.
Like
are
a
they-
million times worse.
That's worse.
I don't know. You see giants coming.
Giants
Giants
on a
tend to pop
boat.
out like a little vent.
Like giants,
Wow.
giants coming, but harder to defend against. So it's more
Yeah.
just like sheer terror. Whereas you don't see the snakes coming, but you can always just kick them off the plane.
Yeah, you don't really get giants popping out of a toilet.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, it's a big ass toilet. That's what I'm going to say.
What if we go on there and we're the snakes?
Oh.
We're the snakes on a boat.
Or I like this plan better. We just tell Pyron to set the boat on fire when it's still at sea, because then we either have flambe giants or drowned giants.
That will make loot recovery difficult.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
We may have to take that hit. I'm going to admit.
Especially if they're giant.
Hang on. Whoa. Time out. Do we not have a potion of water breathing?
Give me half an hour. If I'm not back in half an hour, wait half an hour and set fire to the boat.
Yeah. So we set fire to the boat, it sinks, the giants drown, someone drinks the potion of water breathing, goes down, and just, I don't know, salvages the loot.
What
I don't see a
Share the
problem.
potion of water breathing, use Greta's saddle so that we can go faster under the water.
No,
I've already played too much
walk
Warcraft.
on water.
We're not taking my pony.
Okay.
But-
All right.
The thing
Sorry.
is,
Again,
we-
sorry. My apologies. Sorry.
So we
I will
feed
just-
the
I will-
pony
no, 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 I will
the
just
water
go over
breathing
there.
potion.
I will just go. I will just water walk over there. Then I will sink the ship, and then I just water walk back.
Yeah, that
This
works.
is true. You could just like screw a hole in the side of the ship.
Yes,
True, we don't have to set it on fire.
Are you making plans on getting this ship that was okay?
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Um,
yeah. So far, we've decided we're going to burn the ship down.
Okay.
Because drowned giants are better than sea-worthy giants.
And if we take my pony, I want the pony to get the potion of water breathing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work if the pony sinks but can breathe, and then you are walking on the water.
Well, I have the saddle. The pony cannot get rid of me anymore with the new saddle.
So you're gonna use the walking on water, and then because the saddle must stay attached to the pony, you'll basically have the pony below the level of the water, like like hovercraft, basically, as you go across the water. Is that how this works?
I can also
pretty much.
I can also
Submarine
cast
pony.
water walking on the pony. I would like to point out.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually true. You could.
You could do all of
Yeah.
those
Have a
things.
non-pony.
But he.
I'm like the best person to attack a ship ever.
Yeah, no, this is, I know. I mean, this is like built for this, absolutely. But he
Yes.
says, he's like, but I've seen a ship as big as a mountain that was prowling the northern waters. If it were me, I'd put any kind of money you like that thing attacked and destroyed the dancing wave. And based on what I saw, it didn't survive the attack. That thing would probably have whatever you were looking for within it.
I look grimly to Celsig because we both know it's giants.
Always is.
All right, yeah. So you're right. We didn't know that. We didn't know that specific detail. Are there any other details you know that we might want to know?
He says, just one. There isn't a ship you'll find in any of the docks in Waterdeep that'll go anywhere close to the place where the dancing wave was destroyed. Again, I haven't heard of any merchant ships going down. Part of that is because they're all heading south and upwards. But heading up north, that hasn't been happening as of late. And I know this, of course, because most of my business used to be between here and Luskin. Haven't been able to get up there for some time, mostly because of this situation. And sure, Waterdeep can survive for a while with trading to the cities to the south, but if it really wants to continue to be the city that it is, it's got to be able to trade northwards as well, and it can't just do that all on land. In other words, as long as this situation continues and captains refuse to bring ships up there, this whole city is, as you might say, sunk. Except, of course, for me, because I'm willing to take myself and my scurvy crew, and he says that last word loud enough that his crew can hear it, so they all kind of chuckle. He says, up there. Now, this is a dangerous thing, and I'm not at all convinced that any of you, or even me, is ready to handle it right now. But when you are ready, we'll be around here. You'll be able to find me, and you can take the ship to find that ship if need be. What we do with it when you find it, well, I'll leave that to the warriors in the group, and of course, the people of faith. And he inclines his head towards, now I know Greta's not there, but he inclines his head basically towards the direction of the bar, like where he knows Greta obviously should be.
Can I do some sort of check to maybe see if I have any knowledge of what a giant's ship might be made of? Because for some reason in my head, I'm thinking it's probably made of rock.
Well, you could make
It's not made of wood, but it's made of trees, if that makes sense. It's just a forest.
I'm just thinking there's going to be something where I'll set it on fire from a far plant isn't going to work, and then we're going to have to be on a ship full of giants.
I mean, your experience is not necessarily with naval stuff per se. If you wanted to do a history check to see if you knew of stories of such things, you could certainly do that if you like.
I'll give that a try.
I wonder if the
11.
ship has a hat.
So you have the ability to call on him.
Do you know? I think I still have that horn.
Mm-hmm.
I do, don't I? Yeah.
Yep.
I was carrying that on my back.
When you so when you make the history check, I mean, not specifically Celsic, you have heard of these enormous man of wars, juggernaut type ships that were built before, but a lot of them come from the distant past, and they probably would have been made out of similar material as they're made now, just a whole lot of it. You would need to make a huge ship like what he's describing. You would need to have tons and tons of wood. You would need to have presumably tons of, it would need to be able to carry the weight of a bunch of cannons and that type of thing. So that would be your guess in terms of what it is that you would see. The thing that gets you, though, and this you do know just based upon your stories that you've heard of it, it's not even so much the ship, although that's pretty impressive by itself. It's the manpower. How do you get enough people to actually run this ship? You can't run it with 2 people. You've got to have people that can actually man the ship, and that's a good number of people. And according to what he said, that thing has never tried to come close and land in Waterdeep, because it certainly would have been noticed if it did. So where is it getting supplied? Where is this, all of that stuff. But in terms of materials, I mean, you don't know of anything different in materials that you're aware of.
I sort of turn to the others and say, I don't know. I think we might need some help for this if we go after it. I mean, it's a giant's ship. It is, by very definition, a giant ship.
Giant ship, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
have you alternative distribution ship is really going to do enough.
No.
Have you turned back to the bar and told us about these things?
Not yet, no.
Okay, then I'm just still standing there and waiting for you.
Pretty much, yeah. You're just kind of looking after River at the moment. Yeah, that feels a little beyond us.
He says, of course, part of what you might want to consider is gathering more information about this ship before you go finding it. I doubt you're going to find any survivors at this point.
So why would you recommend finding more information about it?
He says, well, that information probably needs to be found with the people who set this ship up. And the only way to gather information I know about that is to find out what's behind all of this, and he kind of waves his hands, this chaos that's been going on here in the Sword Coast. He's like, you could, of course, try to go up and down the coast, patrolling, if you will, seeing if you can track down smaller ships. Maybe if you were to start looking through the halls of some of the other ships up and down the coast, you might, of the other taverns and so on up and down the coast, you might get information that way. But I can promise you that no one else knows about this ship or as much about the ship as I do, and I bet I'm the only one who's seen it. In fact, most of the people I talk to tell me that I'm crazy, and that finally Thunderhail has taken leave of his senses. But I know what I saw, and this thing was enormous.
Oh no, I believe you. I
believe you.
Given our experience, we know exactly why it was that size.
And he sort of, he says, the only thing I can tell you is to try to get some allies on your side before you go. My lads are good enough in a fight, I suppose, and we'll man the ship for you, but I'm not going to send them into a suicide mission either. Finding the ship is one thing. A direct frontal assault? One magic bracelet isn't going to be enough for that, I'm afraid.
We do know at least stories of a group who could get the job done. I say, looking up at Urash.
This is true.
No matter the cost.
All the collateral damage.
Indeed. But if it's operating out at sea, how much collateral is there to damage?
Indeed. All right, cool. I'll take my axe out of the table and put it back on my back.
You're like, yeah. I like the idea that it was still quivering the entire time, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still quivering with evil.
Right. Okay, you do that.
Yeah. I motioned to Salsig that we should probably go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He says, so he slides the bracelet back and he says, back, into his pouch. And he says, it's a pleasure doing business for you. Would play business for you and with you. He's like, if you have need of me, you can probably find me here, or you can come here and ask the lads to track me down. We might be taking a couple of small side journeys here and there, just out a couple of days at a time, but we won't be gone for longer than a few days at most, at least not for the next few months. So you have that long to get back and make use of the ship you hired yourself today.
All right. Thanks.
And he nods and he says, good luck to you, and may the wind be always in your sails. And he plays a dun 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 on the fiddle, like 3 notes.
All right, I return to Greta and River. How's River looking?
I'm asleep on the table with my water.
That's pretty much exactly right.
And I'm sitting there looking glum and waiting.
Okay, so we know more than we did.
So what do we know?
So we know basically that let's be honest, I say this quite quietly, the Dancing Wave was attacked by a giant ship, from the sounds of it. and Osk Thunderhail says that we can take his ship and his crew in order to go to it, or go to the place where the dancing wave was sunk, but not to a direct frontal assault against whatever ship, vessel, floating fortress happened to attack the dancing wave. But it sounds like it's a giant ship, essentially.
Do we have any reason to believe that the giant ship picked up Artus Cimber?
Not yet.
Because if they did, they already have the Ring of Winter.
I think I'd like to think that if they already had the Ring of Winter, we'd all know about it.
So he must have hidden it somewhere and maybe not have it with him, or it sunk with the ship.
Possibly, or like Lord Roaringhorn said, he went east and not over the water. This could be an isolated incident.
I mean, we know a dragon. Maybe the dragon could be useful for once and fly over the water and get a look at this ship.
This is true. This is very true.
We also know a guy with a flying tower that might maybe help.
Also very true.
So maybe one of those could investigate that, and we turn east.
I think it's about time we start relying on our external party members.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we should sail with that guy, because what else is he even going to do? He can't help us dive in case that Artus Cimber just went down under the waves, and he can't help us attack the ship. And I don't think we should attack a giant ship at all, because I don't know anything about ships. And what should we do if we have attacked it? I mean,
well, what if we do? I don't think this is something we do now. I think Osk said we've got maybe a few months to decide whether or not we want to go out and explore the area where the dancing wave was sunk. After that point, the offer's probably off the table. But to be honest with you, as we are now on our own, absolutely not. I think it's a suicide. And also, it feels like it's taking us away from where we already think Artus Cimber might be and the Ring of Winter might be. So Roaringhorn said he's probably gone east to a central location. We already know of several locations from previous encounters that might be useful. We've got the Marsh of Tomba on the Sunset Mountains. We've got the Marsh of in the Great Peak Mountains, the Marsh of Shalimba. We've got Shadowtop Cathedral, that sort of thing. We've got these places to explore because stuff has happened there. Now, this stuff might have happened, and I don't really know maps very well, so this might be in the east, and we don't really know if this stuff has happened because Artus Cimber's been there.
Yeah, I mean, we could try to get Celtic on the giant ship and have it infiltrated, but I don't see the use in it. Either Artus Cimber was on board of the dancing wave, then the ring might be on the sea ground. I think we should really delegate this kind of stuff, and then we go east and look for the Ring of Winter, because
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's for me, it looks more pressing than chasing after a giant ship that we don't know what to do with when we meet it. Like, hey, we found it. What now?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Even if we were to take Zephyros Tower or something like that to the site with him to explore it, and then have him take us to another area, maybe.
I mean, a flying tower seems to beat a giant ship. We could just drop stuff on it. But,
well, yeah, that's entirely possible. I'm not too sure how happy Zephyros will be with that.
Maybe.
I know he wanted to stay a bit impartial in all of this, didn't he?
I didn't know.
Hard to stay impartial when there's a war going on.
This is true, but he is a crazy old wizard.
Yeah, but
that's also true.
If there's one thing I know about spell users, and I glance over a river, they're all a bit crazy.
Still asleep on the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but I mean, really, even if we get to sink the giant ship, I don't see why we should do it right now.
I don't think we can do it right now. I literally don't. I think this feels much bigger than us, and I think this is a we need more of everything to do this.
Yeah.
So dragons rather than a dragon.
Yeah, so I think we should get our horses
Yeah.
and ride east and look for Archer Simber.
I think it's a good idea. I think we get clear of the city, stock up on what we need, clear of the city, maybe call Zephyros.
We've still got Harshnag and Force Grey as well.
This
Yeah,
is
but-
true.
I think that was like kind of connected to Archer Simber, so
But I feel the trail's a bit cold on Artis Simba. Rather than looking for him, we should be specifically looking for Force Grey, who
Yes.
seem to leave a trail that might be easier to follow.
yeah.
Are you suggesting that the sunken ship might be part of that trail?
Potentially. Maybe they were pursuing Artis Simba. Artis Simba was on the ship. They don't care about collateral damage. A sunken ship would fit their operation.
So you
For a
think
week.
Force Grey were piloting the giant ship?
Oh, no. But maybe they were on board the Dancing Wave, and
Possibly.
it's speculation. But I do think Force Grey is probably the more solid direction to be looking.
Possibly. I mean, even somewhere like Shadowtop Cathedral in the High Forest, that was apparently, from what we know, that's run by Ents, and there's been no contact from them for a while. So maybe something's happened there that's got something to do with Force Grey. I mean, that's, if they're a legendary band of people, then they may have, and some bad stuff has gone down there. They may have had some sort of impact in that. Or I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I just know we've got a lot of places that we want to go to and not a lot of information to go on. We know
And
what we know.
trails getting colder by the day.
Oh, yeah. We know that someone who knows Artis Simba says he's probably gone east. He's probably gone somewhere central. And I'd have to have a look at a map because I don't really know maps too well. I know the coast, but I don't know the north. That's about it.
There's put it this way: there is a lot of north, there is a lot of central, there is a lot of map.
Well, exactly. So there's a lot of places we could potentially go to now. I don't know where that could be. But like you said, I don't think I don't think the boat is a dead end. Someone's telling me it's not to do with our main objective.
Okay, then I say we should carry River back to the inn, get a good night of sleep finally, and
That sounds like a really good idea.
make a final decision in the morning.
That sounds like a very good idea.
Can you carry River, please?
Yeah, of course I can.
Cute.
Okay.
Is that bucket of sausages still around?
The innkeeper's not.
Yeah, I was going to say the innkeeper is still not back, or the bartender is still not back from.
Is the bucket of sausages around?
It should be near the circle, I believe.
Okay, I'm just gonna take some sausages.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave some money for the sausages.
I take the money and the other sausages.
Don't let her see you.
Yeah, I just sort of wait a few seconds, just like.
Just like right in a loop too. She puts it down. He like comes by. Takes that. Okay.
Oh, free money and sausages.
Hey. All right. Okay. So you head back to the inn. Now, my understanding is the reason I put up this main map here is because my understanding is from your discussion, it sounds like you guys are headed east. And if so, the question is, do you have a particular region that you want to aim, like a particular area? Because obviously this is mostly most of the north, the Sword Coast, which is mostly the north. So you've got quite a few sort of general areas. And if you want, if there's a particular region, you could tell me about it, and I could try to give you some details about some of the things within that region. Or, I mean, it's up to you as to where you want to start to look.
So do we know, just really quickly, because of the places we already know that things have happened, do we know where Sunset Mountains are, and Grey Peak Mountains, and High Forest? I mean, I think the High Forest was quite easy to find. Yeah, High Forest is right there. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of pointers that were pointing us to Lork.
Where's that?
So it's
That is in the Grey Peak Mountains behind the High
Grey
Forest.
Peak
I'll ping them
So
Mountains.
if you just go directly east from
Yep.
Portage, it's central. It's
Oh, yeah.
and I have a kind
Yeah.
of a faint memory that we had a lot of things. I think there's even a thing one of
Yeah,
the teleporters
stone-
there.
Yeah, Kalismana said that stone giants have been attacking Lork and Parnast.
That's
The
right.
stone
Also, and that it used to be a mining town that was human and dwarf prospectors. And by the way, you also know that for a while, the people, does it say in your note who was in charge of Lork for a while?
No, it doesn't.
The Zentarim.
The
You've had a little
Zentarim.
bit of a encounters with them in the past as well.
So,
But yes,
yeah.
that's Lork. And the Grey Peak Mountains, which are themselves can be dramatic. I mean, like they they're not the most hospitable place that you could find, but
I think Lork and Parnast, like basically the Grey Peak Mountains, might be a good shout traveling towards there. I mean, we could, if we're going by road, that might take a while, but there's no reason why we can't ask one of our allies to help us.
Well, Lork has a teleporter.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Well, we haven't unlocked on.
Sorry?
We've got Yarta, Waterdeep, and Neverwinter as teleport locations.
Yeah, we have.
I'm pretty.
But we could go to Yarta, come through the High Forest, since you mentioned the Ents, on our way to Lork.
Where's Yarta? Where am I looking?
Yortar's up here.
By Tribal. There we go. Ping
Okay,
the
I
map.
was
Oh,
so
right,
sure-
okay.
Wasn't there a teleporter on Lork? Am I so off?
Then there may have been a teleporter more east, but I don't know if it was like, as Arv said, it was grayed out.
Yeah, we
Maybe.
haven't found it yet.
If there was one, I'm not certain. Yeah, Yarta. So that was. So where's the bit with the Ents? Where is that? That is
Well,
the
you
High
mentioned-
Forest.
yeah, you mentioned High
Shadowtop
Forest.
Cathedral in the High Forest. The High Forest is frigging huge.
Sure
Do
is.
we have any
There is
idea
that.
where Shadowtop Cathedral might be?
Let's see.
Like region, half, north, south, east, west, that sort of thing.
Right.
That's true.
I
exact
would
longitude and latitude would be fantastic, but you know,
make a history check for me. Let's see what you know about the Shadowtop Cathedral. Part of the problem is that it's not easy to find this place, but I'll.
Shall we all make a history check?
You can all
or-
make history
I
check. Sure.
will.
You're having this
I will.
discussion
I will.
broadly. So.
-1, so
All right, Greta with a 22, Urash with an 18, Celsic
I'm
with a
assuming
10,
I'm
Wow,
still
and
doing
and River with a 0 because she's asleep.
Yeah.
I assume River is sleeping through this. But correct me,
Yeah.
Chai, if I'm wrong. But I think this
No,
is right.
I'm pretty sure I am. I'm out.
can I just confirm, are we doing this as we're going to an inn?
No, I thought this is the next morning.
Yeah, I thought that. Well, or that night. I thought basically you were back at the inn.
Okay, so we're
either
back at the inn.
This
Okay.
is my
I
assumption.
Just
yeah.
wanted to make sure. Yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So Urash, you don't know. Celsic, you don't know. You're like, I think I've heard of cathedrals before. No, it's not that bad a joke. But Greta, you definitely have heard of something like this before. In the distant past, there were rumors of a cathedral that was found within the deepest and most dense sections of the High Forest. That's saying a lot because the High Forest is pretty goddamn dense when it wants to be. The problem is that they said that the things that concealed this cathedral, rumors said, were themselves alive, as if the forest itself attempted to protect and conceal this place. That said, it was also rumored that this place was a place of deep wisdom and great age, that, there had been things here in the forests of the world. This was one of those places that had escaped the depredations of war and battle and, these other things that have constantly ravaged, the Sword Coast and the Forgotten Realms. The inner forests have escaped most of this, and so this cathedral has been largely preserved by the kind of, by the forest itself. But these, again, are also rumors. You've clearly never seen it for yourself. And as to where to look, you would have to try to track down information. And there's a couple of possibilities. One possibility could be those mountains that you see there that are in the middle. One way to sort of see things in a forest is to get above the forest. If you remember anything about The Hobbit, for example, like Bilbo looking above the trees and sort of looking of Mirkwood, for example, that sort of thing. But if you are not familiar with The Hobbit, just getting a high kind of picture of what's below you is usually a good idea. The problem is the Lost Peaks and the Star Mountains are big, tall mountains that are not going to be easy to climb either. The other option is to try to go into the forest and try to track down Loudwater, for example, which is in the river between the High Forest and Southwood. You can see that right here. That may have, you know, prospectors or, you know, hunters, rangers, perhaps elves who live within the wood. They might be able to give some information. Or you could try to go into the forest and try to seek it out. But this, I would estimate, just looking, I'm just quickly looking at the scale, that probably this is from here to here. Sorry, give me a second. Ruler. Where's the ruler? What? Show me my damn ruler. For some reason, I don't know where my ruler went. Anyway, I'll freehand it. From here to here, that's probably about 275 miles across. So, you know, so right here, down close to this, like, say, across this way, is probably 175 miles or so. That's a lot of forest. You know, there's that too. The other thing is there are also some smaller places that are around the outside. For example, right here, I will ping it for you. Right here is something which is known as Noanar's Hold. Noanar's Hold is a village which grew up around a famous hunting lodge that was built over 200 years ago. And in its heyday, and this isn't just you, all of you have heard this before, except possibly not River, but she's asleep anyway, that Noanar's Hold hosted wild hunts that attracted the wealthiest nobles and merchants of the north. But the lords who created these hunts were cruel, and the lodge itself fell onto a dark end. And now no one wants to go anywhere near the place because there are all sorts of rumors about undead that prowl its depths, and you know, that the lords, some people say that the lords still run their hunts, but they have become haunted hunts now because they search, you know, with ghostly dogs baying through the night, seeking out things. So, you know, but that again is another possibility. The reason that you know about that a little bit is the fact that it is, you know, was direct. They often would go into the forest, so I mean they would go directly in there. So maybe there's information there as well. That's a possibility. The other possibility too, one last possibility, is up here, Everlund, which Everlund is. Let me give you the direct description. Everlund is a mercantile community. It is well known as being one of its most active mercantile communities. There's a thick stone wall that kind of circles it, and it is, until recently, it is a member of the Lord's Alliance, but just recently it is separated from them, basically because it wants to make more money. Long story as to that. I won't get into it unless you guys decide to go there. But that is also a fairly big city, which, because it borders the High Forest, there may be more information there. So you've got, you know, Everlund, you've got wandering through the forest, you've got trying to go to the mountains to go north, you've got looking at Noanar's Hold, maybe checking out Loudwater to the south, seeing what they have. So different possibilities.
What was the reason we're looking for this castle anyway?
Well, what you just said about because you started talking about Shadowtop Cathedral. Yes. It was one of the things that I think you were given information about. I don't remember now actually if it was Kalismana or who gave you the info.
It was Kalismana.
It was Kalismana. But one of the things that he mentioned is the fact that there was information there that the forest could provide about the location of people within their area. Like the forests know where most things are through various means. And so Shadowtop Cathedral is basically a place where a lot of information could be gathered. Maybe on the Ring of Winter, maybe on giants, or maybe on, you know, Force Grey, Harshnag, things like that in this place.
He also said that it's obviously it's run and protected by Ents, but there's been no contact from them for a long time. Now, right. What is a long time based in dragon terminology? I'm not quite sure what that could be.
Or a tree.
Yeah, exactly. Months, weeks, years, decades, millennia, I don't know. He also told us about the Grey Peak Mountains and how stone giants have been attacking both Lorcan Parnas there, and also the Sunset Mountains. And Kalismana said that this is a potential wizard's graveyard. and this would be a good source of information if we were to go there. So this is the stuff I've got from what Kalismana said. Now, based on what we want to do is to go to essentially go east, and this correlates with something that's in the east, going to Lore called Parnest. Darksaber basically said we may as well go to something like Yartar and go through the mountains in order to, through the forest in order to try and find.
Changed my mind on that, I think.
Yeah, I'm starting to change my mind on it as well, to be honest with you.
So,
basically, that feels like a proper quest in and of itself. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not going to be worth it. What I am saying is maybe we could go through Loudwater, find information on Shadowtop, and then go back to Shadowtop at a later time.
Yeah, so I sort of stopped trying to explain maps to Urash and just start pointing and go, right, so...
north is up, and
this whole bit here is central.
I'm just like, so where am I?
You are here.
Why am I so tiny? Why is Waterdeep so small?
How does that place know where it is on the map?
Yeah.
Although I would like to
what about when you move?
We have a teleporter as well.
Mm.
You can just poof places as long as the
only if we found it though.
True,
Yeah.
and we've got one in. Did you say Yartar, Waterdeep, and Neverwinter?
So the way I'm looking at it is Loudwater puts us in a good position for Lork or the High Forest, depending on what information about either we find out. Loudwater's near enough; they've probably heard something from one or the other. That's the way I see it. Plus, I look up at Yarta, and there doesn't look like there's a bed for weeks.
Yeah, and I think also that Loudwater is east from here, which was also something that we were pointed to. So
yeah.
So, does anybody have you ever had contact with Ents? Are they dangerous? What should we do? Shall we bring them gifts? How do you deal with Ents?
I haven't got a clue.
I thought they were really, really small things that like sugar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be. I don't really know.
Famous song written about them Ents marching.
Well, I mean, they apparently live where the forest is stupid, so you never know.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we could go to Yartar, go down, go to this keep, see what that's all about, and then go through the High Forest. Or we could just go to Loudwater.
Who's up for a string of places with beds, and who's up for the Keep of the Dead?
Well, you put it like that. I kind of want to go and explore the Keep of the Dead, but you know, I don't.
I just saw romance with barbarians.
Yeah.
But I think we've got another topic that we should maybe talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We have the problem of money because Lord Roaringhorn didn't want to give us any, and we just lost a very expensive magical item and all of that.
You don't know about that.
And I just paid for the sausages. I
want to point out, Greta does not know that I bartered with Diego. Is that correct?
Probably not. I don't know if you were there when that happened, because I think you had left by the time you actually. I believe.
No, I was sitting at the bar when that happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm pretty sure that Diego also wanted something in exchange from you.
But you're right. We do have a money shortage problem, unless Celsig is sitting on a giant pile of gold that we don't know about.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. And
I just look at Celsig. I'm just like.
He hurriedly pushed something behind his back.
Well, I'm just very, very innocently just sort of, oh, my nails are dirty.
Just cleaning his money.
I haven't been paying attention to this at all.
But Celtic has been a good citizen, and he obtained a proper license.
Yes, this is very true.
Maybe we should look into opening such an establishment as a way to make money while we're away, and also to give some to charity.
I think that's a grand idea.
I think saving the world is a very good charity.
There's, you also have to care about the small problems.
And you can probably
if the world blows up, there are no more small problems.
You can probably use this as tax relief. Just get on board.
Are we tax deductible?
How does
are we
adventure
taxed?
tax? Quick question. How does adventure tax work in?
Yeah, how does that work?
Look, I'm in my phase. now.
Are
I
you
work-
registered as a legal entity? And
Yeah. I'm registered as a sole adventurer. I'm not registered as an adventuring party, and I'm not quite sure how that affects my insurance.
there
I'm
has
not quite
there has
sure if
actually been some discussion about that actually with some people about what happens to adventurers. One of the benefits is that because the adventurers generally don't have a home base, it's kind of hard to track down, where they actually are. And if they put down roots, if they decide that if you guys decided we're going to live here, we're going to be here, at that point, that's when you get all of these, the taxes and all that kind of stuff comes through. So as long as you continue to wander from Bryn Shander to Neverwinter to Waterdeep to
We're
the High
essentially
Forest
done.
and beyond,
So just don't stop.
yeah, just don't stop moving. Just your whole life, just keep moving. Yeah.
So it sounds like, what kind of establishment are you actually allowed to open up?
I bet. Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Oh, that's fine. My mic cut out for a
Yeah,
minute.
you're good.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all right. I just suddenly had a pop up that my mic had changed.
oh, right. God, that terrifying moment.
Establishment. It's legitimate gambling.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
That was the permit.
isn't it?
It was. You
Yeah.
guys have frozen for a second. I don't know why. I can still hear you, but you're frozen on Zoom, and I
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
I do not know why.
yeah, I see that.
so
That looks
bizarre.
ugly. don't
I
know
look like
what
I have a
there.
plan.
You do have a plan.
You're like, I have an idea. Let me see. Oh, geez, I don't want to. I may have to. All right, I may have to close down Zoom and then call you folks right back. Cause so give me. Yeah. All right. Let me do that. I will.
I don't want to stay like this. Do something.
Not the best look. Okay. All right. I'll call you. I'll get back in touch with you. Just one sec.
I quite like. I just got like this middle distance look of the big picture.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. It was weird. Give me a second and I will get them back. I don't know why that happened. All of a sudden it froze. But I could still hear them, so I was like, all right. Okay. Now I should be getting them back in just a second. So bear with me as we get them back.
Bing bong.
All right. Just need to move the webcams around. Just a second, because right now,
I'm
Warash
Greta.
is
I can play Greta.
I actually popped up at the right place.
I'm River. Give me lots of food.
There we go. Oh man, cool. All right, there we go. They've shifted. Now keep it. All right, now they're back to normal. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so where were we? So you guys were deciding. So have you? But you haven't. You were bringing up another topic, which you were talking about, Pyron, and then the thing with the bracelet, and then.
Money.
I think we know. I think it's really, some temple places also do this kind of like bingo afternoon where they then collect donations for good things. So this is what we're going to do. But the question is, do we have some funds to start this off? Because I guess we have to rent some rooms for that, and then employ some people who run that stuff while we're away and all of that.
I'm not sure we're going to see the return on investment for quite some time.
I guess the question is, how much would it be to start a legitimate, safe style gambling business?
For sure.
Well, I do
I'm
have.
open to cutting corners.
I do have Ben luck.
Yeah.
I have a forger's kit. We can get any permit we need.
Now you could certainly. I mean, I just so you know, if you wish to pursue this, and I highly support the thought of you creating a casino. If you wish to do something like this, you could. The issue is going to be mostly there is legitimacy questions about like casino simulator. We need to figure out if GOG has such a thing or access to such a thing. But also you would need to be able to figure out a way that you could get a flow of money from it to you. Like it's not even so much how fast it makes money. If you do it right, you could maybe but how do you get the money to you? These are all things just to consider.
Maybe the Harpers can make themselves useful for once.
Or we can enslave a horde of fairies.
What?
Know of such a place?
No, you just put a little pouch on the fairy, and the fairy flies away and finds us. Just posits the pouch.
I like it.
Yep, I like it too.
Casino.
Yeah, see,
I'm not
fairy
quite
does
sure.
casinos.
I'm not quite sure if my beast sense or commune with animals would help, like getting like a.
I'm pretty sure we should not enslave anybody. No, no enslaving.
Fine. Indentured servitude.
No
alright.
enslaving. No enslaving.
Wages.
No enslaving.
Oh.
Okay, so if
Criminally
we move,
underpay them.
if we move slavery to the side of the table rather than off the table, you know,
Just close enough to the edge where we'll accidentally be knocked off onto the ground
Yeah.
and smash.
So would this be something we would be able to legitimately get away with? Is starting a
There's
business?
a moment of somebody at the door.
FedEx.
It took me a while to get this, but it's so funny.
I don't get the joke. I don't understand.
FedEx.
What?
The FedEx. Very.
Oh, the FedEx. Oh my god.
Oh!
Oh my
Oh, that's
god.
perfect. We can. I love it. Let's do this.
Oh my god, FedEx.
Screw Artist Simba. Find us some fairies.
Yeah,
now.
fine, it's a FedEx.
That's very.
Well, Marinda, the reason is that the party
No,
wants to figure out money as they go on this search. They're trying to figure out how to get basically a path of money. So now they've come up with the idea of having fairies involuntarily shipping stuff to them, known as, according to Zitwar, the FedEx.
No. It's not involuntary. It's indentured servitude. It's different.
No enslavement.
Yeah, I'm really starting to be concerned about
People
River's
can
alignment.
work off debt owed to the casino by making a few deliveries.
See, it's fine. We'll give them room and board, probably, and it'll be fine.
No, River. No
Oh,
enslavement.
When did we take a heel turn? Hold up.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, this is of course all River is unconscious during all of this. This is not actually happening in this discussion. She's just occasionally bitter, like maybe slavery, like the real.
She's screaming about something else, but actually making lucid contributions.
Exactly.
I
Right.
can't help but for
FedEx.
half barbarian. No,
Okay, I think we should maybe move this decision on to the next time.
Oh man.
maybe we should. So we'll.
I think casino might be a bit too much.
Yeah, right.
As we are currently.
Nothing you said from River. Nothing your character has muttered in her sleep in the last 20 minutes has been neutral good. Neutral questionable, maybe. Not neutral good.
Can we just do true neutral? I've realigned.
You've realigned into true neutral.
I'm not true neutral.
It is funny how everyone in chat too is like, "What alignment is she?" Wait a minute, like they're all like, it's all like, "What is this? How did?"
Suddenly she's just like, "But I'm lawful evil. You guys are lawful evil, right?"
Yeah, you're all lawfully right. I think that's happened when I ate a whole bucket of sausages.
Let's make
and,
some money.
That was the way this worked.
Apparently, I realign when I'm drunk. We don't know.
People do change moods when drunk, so.
Are you before you head off? Are you thinking about other potential monetary sources, or what? Are you? I'm assuming, leaving aside the slavery angle, are you pursuing a more realistic form of?
I've got some assets I could liquidate, but I don't really want to have them all in gold piece form because I just don't like the idea of having it all in one place. Really,
You're about the real estate, really.
Well, I've got some valuables that are worth things if I pawn them or liquidate them into gold, but I don't want to do that currently.
I see. Okay.
Great.
Someone bumps into you.
That's
Yeah.
Liquidate.
It's more of an eggs in one basket kind of thing, really.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid it.
I understand that. So other than starting a legitimate business, which we could do, but it would need capital to get off the ground.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a position to set up the casino right now.
But I do have bend luck.
No, well,
No.
It's too bad I can't cast that on the entire casino. That way
Right.
it's written.
The thing is, I was like looking at some of this stuff because I have been noting down like when I haven't sold something, but I was giving a value for it.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
very good bookkeeping for a
And a bodyguard as well.
Very good bookkeeping for a ranger.
Hey, Kilgore.
Very good bookkeeping for a ranger. Okay, so shall we talk about the money situation after we've discussed exactly what we're doing? Like, because are we set on going to Loudwater?
Water sounds like a good decision.
Yeah. And have we still got horses?
No, they would be up at Yartar.
That's not a problem. We can just teleport and get our horses.
Okay, so
But
we're going to
how do we
teleport.
get them to Loudwater?
Well,
It's
can
a
we
good-
teleport the horses here?
You could. You don't have, of course, Greta's awesome pony, but you do have the rest of the horses. Rather, I shouldn't say that. You do have many horses that you could rent or hire here for sure.
But Greta's pony is in Yartar, is that correct?
Yes, under the careful supervision of Kalismana.
Yeah, so we could go to Yartar, make Kalismana aware of the situation, maybe ask Kalismana to have a look at the wreckage of this ship as well, because, you know, dragons have wings, etc. And bring the pony back to Waterdeep, rent some of the horses, or get our horses if they're actually there at Yartar, bring them back to Waterdeep in the teleporter, and then travel to Loudwater. This sounds like a plan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's inform the dragon and maybe see if the dragon does something and get a pony. Yes.
cool. The whole summoning the Wizard's Tower thing feels like a bit of an emergency move. if
There is
that
a
makes
point we're trying to bring the pony back though, because it's the teleport's down a pit. We had
Am I
to climb down on a rope.
Am I
Oh,
the
that's
only one who was wondering whether the giant ship has a captain's hat?
Yes. Yes, you were.
Just
You're not
asking.
anymore. But
Because
yeah.
As I got once it's seen.
I've been just thinking about this the whole time. Maybe like kind of a big pirate's hat or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you folks are going to be heading off to teleport to Yartar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're gonna spend the night in the inn probably, and the next day River is gonna have her first hangover, so that's gonna be fun for a wild mage.
Yes. And as you prepare to set off the next morning, River, it feels as if a whole nest of hammering dwarf miners have taken up residence inside your head. So, like, you know, whoosh, where there's a whip, whoosh, there's a way, you know, just chink, chink, chink on the inside of the skull. You are in a lot of pain. You sort of open your eyes and it feels like someone is shining like just light directly into, but it's actually just the normal morning sun. And it's, like why anyone would ever drink is beyond you. Like what on earth would give them the idea of drinking that is not. Also, you really don't feel like having sausages anytime ever in your life, maybe. Really.
No.
And
I look at the bucket. That's a pity.
and as you folks prepare to leave the inn for at least the moment, the last time, settle up, and then prepare to head off to the Harper location where you're going to be teleporting back up to Yartar, if I understood the arrangement properly. Cutscene. You are heading up in that direction, and as you prepare to enter the secret area where the teleporter is going to happen, just sort of in the distance, you can see the two people that are, or if you were looking in that direction, you would see two people looking at you. One of them is Osk Thunderhail / Diego Maradona, who is watching kind of from behind behind a building, basically sort of peering around, and he is sort of smiling as you go. Not necessarily a nasty smile, just a smile. And then right across the way, looking at you, is a blindfolded halfling, cloaked with a Harper pin. He is looking at her, and of course she is blindfolded, so she can't actually see him. But he looks across, and she tilts her head in her direction as if seeing or sensing him. And then the two of them nod at each other and disappear into the shadows. And that is where we will close up the session for tonight. So yes, you may have remembered this person, the blindfolded one, from a past encounter.
I forgot about her.
Yeah. This was incredibly entertaining. It was really, really fun.
Verena, actually have a note for that.
Yep, that's right, Verena. This was incredibly entertaining, super, super exciting. And for those of you that just arrived, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for the turnout. We had 130 people at peak, so we had real good numbers all day. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it in chat, and you will see more of these wonderful folks in September. And thanks to you and Geronimo 103 in October 30th, all of us will be doing some kind of cosplay. We'll be doing some kind of cosplay. Pyron will be, of course, cosplaying as a dragon for that entire week, so that's very exciting.
But no!
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Although I was really tempted to kind of push that down the line. No, but she will be cosplaying, and we are, because we want to help our friend and our beloved team leader, we are also going to cosplay with her. But thanks. That is because we had 20, so not only subs, we had 20 subs, few people who resubbed, and a bunch of gift subs from Geronimo 403. That happened at the very beginning, so that was great. Thank you so much again, Geronimo, for your generosity, and for all of those of you who subbed and resubbed and watched and tweeted and retweeted. That was a lot of fun, and it was awesome to see that all happening. So I will start as I usually do on the bottom of the column and then moving back upwards. So I will start with Tasty Chai. Chai, a very interesting, eventful, educational, I'd say, session. Really, a lot of things were learned by River today. How did you feel about stuff? Where will the fine folks see you next?
Oh man, today was awesome. I mean, to go from getting completely drunk, getting sick on the floor, passing out, and then advocating for fairy slavery.
Fairy slavery, yeah, that was really not what I was expecting. You can't, this all scripted, right? That's all scripted, like all part of it.
Yeah, totally. We talked about this before the stream. So as far as where the fine people will see me next, as I said in the beginning of the stream, school has started. In fact, one of my classes is ready to go. So my stream schedule is shorter now. So the next time I will be streaming will be on my personal channel on Friday. We'll be playing We Happy Few. And the next time I will be here on GOG will be on Sunday, and I'll probably be continuing my Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire playthrough.
That's awesome. By the way, what are you going back to school for, by the way?
Psychology.
Oh, nice. My wife is a therapist, so very, very cool stuff. That's awesome. I am good luck on everything and all that. And I'll be happy to congratulate you on school things when I come to terms with the fact that in 2 weeks I am also returned to school on the professor side of things. But that'll be fine. No, it's okay. I like my job. It's been a nice summer. But congratulations on getting back in and all that, and best of luck with it. And we will see you on your channel, and good stuff today, Chai. Always a pleasure. Moving right up the line, of course, Mike, my friend, very good to have you back on board again as well. What did you think about stuff? Urash was had some good confrontations with pirate, bandit captains and the like. How'd you feel about stuff, and where will the folks see you?
Yeah, the stream was fantastic as always. I always enjoy it. It's always just a very enjoyable experience just to play D&D with you guys. It's a really fun campaign, and you just let a lot of. I know there's a lot of freedom, unlike other kind of D&D games I've played in the past. There's a lot of like, well, we'll just do this and see what works. We'll just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And that works for our party. We're kind of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail D&D adventurers, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's as regards to myself, I'm not really doing a lot at the moment. I'm playing an awful lot of Nintendo Switch because I'm a bit obsessed with my Nintendo Switch. Actually, I'm obsessed with Stardew Valley again, and I'm writing 2 books at the moment. One of which I'm hoping is going to be finished before the end of August, and it will be available on Amazon Kindle. But I will let everyone know when that is done, basically. And if not, then it won't be long after. The reason I want it done before the end of August is for a book contest. But if it's not done before the end of August, it won't be very long after that. So yeah, watch this space. You can follow me on Twitter at Screaming Joypad for all the latest updates. And yeah, I will see you next time here on this channel.
Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. Always a pleasure. I look forward to hopefully good news on that book front. So that's awesome, man. Thank you as always. Moving right up the line, Saber. This was a very, very eventful session in many ways. You got a chance to have a dance off with a guy on a peg leg, and it just kind of went from there. How did you feel about stuff? Where will the fine people see you?
It's been a great session again. I love playing with everyone. It's a great campaign. I love it. I always have a blast. I always, try and inject some fun into the proceedings. Maybe some shenanigans. But it's just funny that, just seeing how far I can push my luck with the party.
Yep.
Yeah, but as for when I will be next, despite the new job, my streaming schedule is mostly untouched, luckily, because it's got some favourable hours. So I'll still be streaming tomorrow on GOG, where I'm going to carry on with my playthrough of Graveyard Keeper, which is a bit more advanced since the release stream, so I can hopefully show off some stuff I didn't get a chance to. And Thursday, I'll be back streaming on my own channel, where I'm playing through the incredibly entertaining Yakuza 0.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people playing that lately. There's been a lot of people talk about that.
It lives up to the hype, so I can understand why everybody's on that at the moment.
Nice. That's awesome. I cannot wait to see and hear more from you, and of course I will see you with this campaign specifically next month, Saber. Thanks as always. Last but certainly not least, Pyron, I feel like today was just a normal day. Like, I don't think a lot happened for you. It was just kind of a traditional day that not much happened, except that you're going to be a dragon. But other than that, I think it was pretty much the same. How did you feel about stuff, and where will the fine people see you?
Same old same. Yeah, I think I had a lot of fun and surprises this stream. Thank you again to Geronimo for supporting the channel that much. And I think doing some cosplay for Halloween is actually going to be totally awesome. So yeah, I would not have done a dragon cosplay without this, but sometimes you just have to, to be pushed to push yourself, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. My kids are going to love it. I'm sure about that.
Well, I was going to say, like, the kids are going to be like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. As I like a 5-year-old just continue to do dragon. I couldn't resist. What I loved about it was the fact that you call for those things and they don't always happen. And it was just kind of like, well, bam, here you go, pow. And I'm just like, yes. and you need to let the higher ups know, by the way, at GOG, that if they give the more support they give us, the more we can make this stuff happen. We can bring it home for them,
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to be at Gamescom from Thursday to Saturday.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Meeting some of the higher ups from GOG, hopefully there. And also some of you guys, at least if you got a ticket for the GOG.com party at Gamescom that you could apply for. There was like an email thing, and you could get an invite, and then you would be told the secret location of the party. No, it's not a joke. This is actually what they did. And I'm going to be at that party. I'm going to be at Gamescom just generally. And so if just poke me on Twitter or anything if you want to meet up. I'm going to be there Thursday to Saturday.
That's really awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear back about cool things that happened at Gamescom that you're at liberty to tell us. So that will be cool.
Yeah, I really hope they let me see Cyberpunk, but I don't know yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Maybe they will. And of course, only the elite of the streamers will know the details. I'm just kidding. That's not the case. That's not.
I didn't know I was the elite, but thank you.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. Well, listen, I mean, I've already made you a dragon. Now you're an elite dragon, so it's fine. But this was great. Thank you, Pyron. As always, a great pleasure. I want to say again openly to the party to the group of people that I enjoy all my campaigns for different reasons. I just absolutely adore the fun and enthusiasm that you folks have. It always gives me a smile coming out of it. So thank you. You guys do a great job. I'm really glad that you have such good chemistry with each other. It's a pleasure to DM for you. And chat, I hope you understand that if, again, now I know a lot of people in the tabletop community on Twitch, and there's a lot of wonderful sessions, but this is not a guarantee, okay? There are sometimes where you'll go to a group of people and it's kind of sort of like pulling teeth, quite honestly. So having a group of people that really work well together and have fun with each other does not automatically happen. So this group deserves credit for doing that. And you folks deserve credit in chat for being as supportive as you are and having as much fun. My favorite part for chat was the peg leg thing. Oh my God, just the peg leg. Everybody doing that was the greatest thing. You guys are the best. So thank you so much, as always. And chat, can we get some love for our wonderful players, for Pyron Jade, for Darksaber 2K, for Screaming Joypad, and for Tasty Chai. Folks, I will see you all next month. Thank you, everyone. There we go. All right. Very, very cool. As I said, I had a great time with these wonderful folks, and I hope that you did as well. It's always a pleasure to have them on board with us, and I'm glad that we had the chance to do that. Oh, God. What? Nope. How does studio mode stop? All right. This is what happens when I don't turn off the video. You know, I would have turned off the video, except that all of a sudden someone started giving away a bunch of gift subs, and that's what happened. Anyway, but this was a great pleasure. I really had a lot of fun. I hope you did as well, and we will be back to this wonderful campaign next month. But coming up for me on this channel, next, for the rest of this week, I'm going to be over on my channel a couple times. I will be back on Friday, where I will be playing with my Mission Impossible styled 60s campaign called Assignment Impossible. I'll be doing that live from the road. So definitely check that out. It'll be on Friday night at about 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Then Saturday, we will have, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, my Esper Genesis campaign, which is basically space opera. Phantasy Star meets Mass Effect with D&D 5e rules. Very exciting. That's going to be happening on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern, yeah, daylight savings, etc. And then the following week, next Tuesday, a week from today, I'll be doing Adventures of Middle-earth, also sponsored on my channel, with my wonderful party there, which is my Tolkien-based Middle-earth campaign, which is really so much fun and a very different feel, but are really great in its own way. And then we'll be back here with BattleTech as we wrap up BattleTech. I think BattleTech has only got basically 2 sessions to go. I think I'll be able to wrap that in 2 sessions just about in time, I believe, for the release of Pathfinder Kingmaker, assuming that I'm going to be doing that. I think I will be. So that'll be a good time happening in September. So that's what we've got there. Please, if you haven't already done so, follow the channel. Please sub to the channel, GOG.com. Please, you can get all these awesome emotes. You can join all your friends who all have these gift subs now. And please spread the word about the show. And please subscribe to all the different peoples who are here, because we have a lot of good ones, a lot of wonderful streamers, many of whom I am lucky to be streaming with doing this campaign and others. So thanks to everybody as all for being here. Thank you all. And that's going to conclude episode 138 of Pen and Pixels. As for me, I will see all of you wonderful folks either on my channel on Friday for Assignment Impossible, or next Tuesday on this channel for more Pen and Pixels and BattleTech. Until then, until I talk to you next time, thanks everybody, and I will catch you all soon. Be good to each other. Have a good day.